Hey everyone, we are live at Bat City Comic Professionals on Austin's East Side, and it is the day after Free Comic Book Day. It is Comic Book Christmas, as it was, or is, I don't know.
Is? Yeah.
But we had a crazy, awesome, amazing day yesterday. We're definitely going to talk about it a lot throughout the night. But we wanted to start out today with a huge thank you to everybody who came out, whether it's creators or the different vendors or you guys who came to pick up your free comics. We're really excited. If this is your first time watching, I am Small Press Shann. This is my buddy Wednesday Phil. Phil, how was your free comic book day experience yesterday?
It was wonderful. I was ill prepared. I did not eat breakfast or drink enough water at all. But I had a wonderful time. I got to meet some amazing local creators. And it was a blast. I gotta say, this may be one of the best Free Comic Book Day events in the history of Free Comic Book Day.
Whoa. Okay. Well, that's big. I'm gonna take it. Thank you.
I was telling Matt, and I already kind of could tell because the way that y'all were announcing the creators that were going to be there seemed very much like a convention.
Yes.
Like Dallas Fan Expo when they post like people who are coming, but it felt like a mini con here at the shop, which was great. You know, there was carnival games. There was a comedian. How many comic shops had a comedian?
And there were 3 of them that did sets in the end. Yeah, I know. It's like Free Comic Book Day has a whole new meaning. Or Free Comic Book Day. Yeah. I was like, I gave you some books, but now like we got the the comic part of the Comic Book Day. But yeah, it was fun. I think we had. I always get the count wrong. I think we had 10 creators out. And then we had, which included the fantastic Chris Sheehan, who does House of Slaughter, and of course our Bat City book of the century, the autumnal.
Right.
And the incredible Lamar Mathurin, who is the artist of Cowboy Bebop, was out for the second half of the day and stayed. To the point where he even asked, like, hey, do you want me to put the comics away with everybody else? Like, he was, like, trying to grab boxes to put away at the end of the night. I was like, go away. Stop it. Go get, like, a drink and sit down
you did your part.
And enjoy your experience. But it was so great. We had some of, like, the Bad City, like at this point, Bad City fan members. Like we had, Drew Edwards and Richard Alexander, who does Life of Richie Vegas, Dan Price, who is just like I don't know, Dan, like we sold more copies of Bigfoot Knows Karate today from people who were like, I didn't make it yesterday. Like this is the cool one I really wanted to see. So always gonna have to re-up on that. I got to meet Monica Gallagher. I don't know if you did.
I didn't.
Oh my gosh. And I'm so sad that you didn't because that's such an artist that I know that you would absolutely love. She has like a really cool like roller derby book called Bonnie and Collide. And she left a bunch, not that one, but she did donate a bunch of books to us at the end of the day yesterday. So and I should grab them. I'll go grab them in just a minute before we kick off. But so did Joe Cashadorian. He left Identity Stunt.
Oh, really?
For us. He left Volume 1 and Volume 2. Okay. So yeah, he left a copy for me and a copy for you, so that we could read it for the next live stream. I was like, not the tomorrow one.
We need some time.
We will do it. Of course, we had Ronaldo Garza out, who does Tank McGregor, which was a Wednesday Phil pick of the week. And so many people, like actually were like, oh, I heard this was a Wednesday Phil pick of the week. Like, I have to get this book. And one of our great volunteers, T.I., was sitting there when people weren't playing this game, like, reading it. We have a great shot of T.I., like, leaning back against the wall reading the Tank McGregor book, so...
Yeah. I definitely went around and promoted that book kind of all day, very loudly. I remember seeing him reading it and just very loudly was like, that's the best book here today. If you're leaving with one book, that's the book you have to take with you.
Yes.
He was really nice. He also told me that he's already working on number 2 which made me very excited.
Yes, and T-shirts, just because somebody specifically requested one.
Because I said I have to have a T-shirt.
And here, just really fast to show it off, that's Identity Snap Volume 1. And this is issue 1 of Volume 2, which just started. And then I'm going to move the wine. We'll come back to the wine, just because we already have so many things. So I jumped into so many great creators. And then these are just like a handful of Monica Gallagher's books. Assassin Remake is her big one right now.
Okay.
And then this one is one I've talked about a lot for in other settings, which is Ghost Friends Forever, which I love, good middle grade-y, like, ghost book.
Yeah.
And then we've got a bunch of like her zines, which are, we've got Hey You, Out in These Woods, which a couple of our volunteers picked up.
Oh, that's cool.
Go for the Eyes, and Boobage, which is an autobiographical story about growing up with tiny boobs.
There you go.
So I'm all in. Can't wait to jump into these books.
A lot of great stuff. Wow.
Yeah, haven't gotten a chance to read before, so look for those to come for like next week or week after.
Yep.
And then we still had more. We had Paulo Redwood was out doing $5 sketches.
Mm-hmm.
We had, like I said, Chris Sheehan was out doing sketches. We had the Round Rock Express.
Those sketches that Sheehan was doing were awesome.
Were gorgeous. Like, Chris, you need to, like, you're blowing away everybody.
Yeah,
you're
slow
down. Don't slow down.
No, definitely don't.
Don't do it. We don't want you to, but oh my gosh, you're too good.
I will say, if there's any one person that I would like to hang out with and just, like, hear them talk about all the stuff that they're doing, it'd be Chris Sheehan.
I have hung out and heard all of the things that Chris Sheehan is doing, and Chris Sheehan is always doing something incredible. And talk about that's another person who was like, hey, I just want to volunteer here anytime.
Right.
And I was like, anytime. You come in anytime.
Yeah.
And the lovely Carla, their partner, and then Jack the dog, who is a Bat City celebrity himself. And then we had the Round Rock Express out, which I'm going to bring this up again in comic book news, but they have the Defenders of the Diamond Night coming up Friday, June 3rd, which is a baseball game, but the whole entire Major League Baseball is doing a Marvel night called Defenders of the Diamond that's actually licensed by Marvel/Disney, and the Round Rock Express is participating, and there's going to be lots of free like Marvel prizes, and then there's a whole fireworks like post-game thing that's all geared around like Marvel and the Avengers and stuff.
That's awesome.
So if Bad City's closed on June 3rd, don't be surprised. And we had Geek Sweets out selling cookies, and then, like you said, carnival games, and of course a ton of comics, which we're going to try to go through a ton of the books really fast so we can kind of showcase some of those free comic book day books too, to kind of let you know what you're going to need to be reading out of the stack that you grabbed. And if you didn't grab something, come back to Bat City and we'll hook you up with what you missed. So now we're going to wind down the weekend, because the whole weekend was...
it was winding up.
The whole thing. Like, it accelerated.
Yeah.
Oh, and just shout out to Doug Millard and the comedians who performed at night for that after party. I do have to throw that in there. They were fantastic. And Doug was like, I was like, Doug, how much time do you need? He was like, I don't know, like 15, 20 minutes. And I was like, oh, I was going to give you like an hour. And he was like, let me call some people. So,
oh my gosh.
He and one of his comedian partners do a show called Excelsior, and it is at the Buzz Mill. And I believe he said it's on Thursday nights, but it's their comic theme comedy night. Like, they mix comic book jokes in there. So I'll get the right date, but it's like weekly.
Yeah.
As we wind down our weekend, we are drinking a bottle of Clone 7, which is a Cab Sav from Paso Robles, California. No idea. It doesn't give you any descriptor, so we're going into this blind.
First time in a while that I feel like there's not been anything besides the government warning label. Usually we get like a nice little story, something to hype us up.
Well, not this time, so cheers to adventure.
I like that. It's got a subtle flavor to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very overwhelming.
Yeah, I like it. It's smooth. It's definitely one of those bottles that I'm going to drink all of on this live stream tonight. So,
well, yes.
Clone 7. Yeah. I mean, there's not many of the bottles that I don't drink.
Yes. But it's good to know that you're aware that tonight it's definitely happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those that's like super smooth, so I'll go through it really fast.
You'll drink it like water.
I'll be like, we don't have any wine to talk about or drink tonight while we talk, so we'll see what happens. And after Free Comic Book Day and like multiple days in a row of well, I mean, it's normal for us to not go to sleep until like 4 a.m, but multiple days of like that feeling like even more work. Like, who knows how fast like this. If I'm not making any sense already, I haven't had anything to drink. It's just pure exhaustion.
So wait till we get to the news.
So wait till we get to the comic news. All right, we're gonna kick it off talking about some of the books that are in hot new titles this week. We've got quite a few new number ones. It's a big number one week. Yeah. Phil was like, how many books do we have this week? And I was like, dude, you have like 10 or 11 number ones, so good luck. But we'll get to those in just a minute. We're going to start with some that are just some fan favorites that are still coming along. First up is Monkey Meat.
Yes.
Issue 5. This is from Image Comics, and it's written and drawn by Junie Baugh.
Yes.
And if you haven't read Monkey Meat is an anthology about an evil corporation who does whatever they want with the food we eat and the products we consume in other ways. And we usually get some kind of story about somebody who is not necessarily down with the corporate vibe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like a little bit of world building in this world surrounding this evil corporate entity. And crazy stuff goes on. I mean, it's a very weird book in the sense that I feel like all of these short stories could be like the animation to a Gorillaz song.
It looks like the animation to a Gorillaz
song. And they're just like fun, weird stories with great characters. I mean, still, I feel like we're chasing, what was that, issue 3 was the best one?
Oh, yeah.
With the bridge troll. But yeah, I mean, if you just want a book with great art, you can come in, you can just pick this issue up. You don't really need to read the other ones, although I think you're doing a disservice to yourself not reading them. But yeah, I mean, it's just a really fun book. Like, come pick this up after you read like Noctera or one of those like real heavy books, story books, and then just grab this one as kind of a nice palate cleanser because it's great. And I mean, the art in this book it's fantastic.
Yeah, and this particular issue follows somebody who eats a ton of monkey meat and then realizes, like, eats the monkey meat business, like, out of food kind of level of eating it too much. And it kind of makes them go crazy, and then they go after monkey meat as, like, a superhero trying to take them down. And originally, this was pitched as a 5-part miniseries. And there is a letter at the back that says, "Thank you for joining us for our miniseries." Oh, sorry, did we say mini? We didn't mean that. It's actually not a mini-series. This is going to keep going, like, check back. It does look like it's going to take until, like, this time next year, because it says kind of, like, same time, same schedule.
Yeah.
So we'll probably not see it come back until the spring again, but we are going to see more monkey meat to come in the future, which is really cool.
Yes. Thank God.
Yeah.
I was a little nervous. But, yeah, I want this to go on forever. Also, it's cool on the back here, they have a monkey juice recipe illustrated where you remove the brain and squish out the juices and then enjoy it.
And there's one in there, one of the ads in there is a back door, that one. It's like, do you dream of this door? Because if so, you could be entitled to compensation. And it's like, it doesn't explain what that means, really. It's just like, okay, well, there you go. If you're dreaming of this door, like, there could be something wrong with you.
Yeah, and I do like that some of these independent books are doing the fake ads. Because, I feel like every time I'm reading a Big 2 book, it's like half the book is ads.
Oh, absolutely. So it's nice to see... It's nice to see them have to go with the story, and Chelsea Kane's really good at that.
Yes,
and a lot, and like Man-Eaters and Spy Island, we saw a lot of like playing with the fake ads in it, and so I love to see more and more books that do that.
Yeah.
Also from Image, up next we have Little Monsters issue 3. This is from Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen, and it's beautiful. The art is gorgeous, and this is one of those. Everybody is talking about vampires. Everybody's doing a vampire story. And so Jeff Lemire was like, hey, what if we did a vampire story that has absolutely really nothing to do with the vampire concepts? And it's about these kids who are kind of living in a post-apocalyptic world, and they've never seen anybody else other than their little group of kids. And one day, one of them wanders off and finds a man. And they're like, oh my gosh, they're still humans. They're still... adults. They're still people, and what does that mean for their whole society? And how is it going to bring them? Is it going to bring them to the point of eating humans? Is it going to bring them to the point of protecting humans? Is it going to bring them to the point of being eradicated by humans? It's Jeff Lemire, so it's all about these connections between the people. And this one was already starting to get to those little heartfelt moments that Jeff Lemire has to do, because you have these two unlikely allies in this one teaming up, and one of them is someone who doesn't speak, and so the ways that they communicate with each other just becomes like a really beautiful storytelling tidbit, in ways only Jeff Lemire ever gets.
Yeah, I've always appreciated Jeff Lemire because it seems like he always has to have that book that is going along with the trends, but he's like, how can I completely humanize the story? How can I take away the fantastical aspect of it and just kind of make that be like a guiding force through the book? But it's not really what the book is about. And I mean, this is just Lemire teaming up with a very talented artist and them just showing what they can do. You know, it's almost like Jeff Lemire is like, all right, what am I going to one up this week?
Right.
What's everyone writing? Okay, everyone's doing a vampire book. All right, let me put all of those other ones to shame. Here's Little Monsters. Right. Oh, and I've got Dustin to win on art. So good luck to the rest of you, because this book is fantastic. Also, I'm looking at this Sorrentino cover, which is just, I love it.
Which we'll talk about more Sorrentino and Lemire to come.
Yes.
Very much so. That's one of the first things I said to Phil today was a comment about Lemire and Sorrentino, and I've already cost Phil money today without him even being here when the store was open. So
I felt it too. I felt the sting. I was like, oh no, why would you say that to me?
Up next from IDW, we've got the Rocketeer, The Great Race issue 2.
Yes. I am a big fan of the Rocketeer. I love pulp adventures, and this is very much classic Rocketeer. You're doing your across-the-world race. You've got Cliff being Cliff. In this issue, in the first issue, basically, there's going to be the giant airplane race that's going to happen, and it's to basically fight off the Germans, which is, you know, in typical Rocketeer fashion.
Classic Rocketeer.
And so I love this issue because Cliff and Betty are probably like one of my favorite fictional couples. Because Betty is, let's just say it, way too good for Cliff. Like, she's beautiful, she's smart, she's a badass in her own right, and Cliff is just kind of a dum-dum. Like, there's a moment in this where he decides that he's going to fill up one of the other airplanes with sugar in the gas tank, and they're like, you know that doesn't actually work, and he's like, but it worked in a Looney Tunes cartoon. And you're like, oh my god. And then of course also you have like Cliff falls in love with this like this female pilot, and then the moment Betty starts getting attention, he's like, whoa, no, she's spoken for. And it's like, oh, Cliff, come on,
right? Always jealous.
You're a real bozo. And I mean, this issue is basically the start of the race, and kind of kicks everything off. And I'm very excited for what's coming, because I feel like we're going to get all of that classic Rocketeer awesomeness that we get. And I'm kind of hoping to see Betty be the real star of this series, because, I mean, she is the real star of the Rocketeer universe. But this is a ton of fun. I mean, if you have read Rocketeer in the past, like, this is something where you're going to flip to each page and be like, there it is. There's that classic Rocketeer that I always love. And it's airplanes flying across the world.
And it's the 40th anniversary. It's on the front of the front of the book. They make a little, like, cute little icon for the 40th anniversary. And so I think it's cool that they're kind of doing that, like, classic homage moments in the story to it, because they are trying to celebrate that anniversary. And they brought this title back for that, and so it's really cool to see.
Yeah, definitely check this out. It's a lot of fun, and, it's that good pulp adventure that you need in your lives.
Yes. Up next from Black Caravan, we've got Swamp Dogs, House of Crows. And this is, like I said, it's issue 3. And this is where we kind of go back and figure out, like, who the Swamp Dogs are. We have a group of people who are trying to make a film And they end up going into this bar, and the bartender tells them, like, oh, this is the bar's called Swamp Dogs. And so they go back in, and they're like, hey, like, what are the Swamp Dogs? Like, why would you name your bar that? So we finally get this legend of these terrible, terrible people who came to Louisiana to kind of, during the Civil War, to fight, like, off, like, keep anybody from getting any traction in Louisiana. And they took over a home, and they just were complete, like, violators of these people, and they did all this torturous stuff, and they were like, why would you name your bar after this? And they're like, because sometimes there's things you need to remember. And one of those things is that, like, bad things happen, and, the ghosts of those things can haunt you. And they're like, okay, it's just a story. And then, of course, we see the connecting point to our actual ongoing story with the two young girls who have been experiencing things. And so it's a very, like, very gruesome story. We've talked about Swamp Dogs being one of those Black Caravan titles. It's like the violence is where they're making it dark, and they keep kind of like hinting at this big violence that we haven't really seen yet, and this gruesome world that we haven't really seen. This book shows it to you. There is a misprint. I'm pretty sure it's a misprint towards the end, because they kind of build towards the climax of this revolution that the people of, like, that plantation home did against the men of the Swamp Dogs who had come and attacked them. And then it goes, like, into more story, and then it should actually showcase, like, a little bit differently, like, actually show all the, like, violent crimes against them. And then that same text is used again with some very similar images. So I think that they've, like, added a couple of pages, and we're gonna pull that one, but they, like, there's a misprint in it, I believe. So it was like, oh, that's a little bit confusing right there. But then I, like, read it again and skipped that page that I was like, oh, I think this is a misprint page. So I, like, didn't read that page. And I was like, oh, man, that makes way more sense. And it's like, okay, cool. This is a great way to tell this story and to just, like, see this revenge. It kind of reminded me of the one that we read that had the revenge on the island, where, like, the people, it was that one shot from one of those small press publishers, and, like, the island, like, people were, like, they took back their island, and then that island of the ghosts of those people who had taken back their island were, like, still protecting it.
Yeah, the black and white book.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I feel like it had a date in there as well. Yeah.
But it was, like, a 3-part story in there, so it kind of has, like, I'm wondering if we're gonna see, like, the ghost of both sides, kind of like we did in that book a little bit, like, in the end, or if it's just going to be, like, these ghosts of these, like, vengeful, like, these horrible, like, monstrous people, essentially. But this is definitely ramping up in that Black Caravan way to become, like, a really gruesome, but, like, a deep story all at the same time. So it's kind of like how Black Friday just randomly, like, was like, oh, now we're doing this, and it's dark and creepy. Like, we're definitely going to get a lot of that from Swamp Dogs, but still feel like that, like, 70s almost, like, horror style.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I'm definitely always curious to see where Black Caravan book goes. I've liked the art in this one, and I do like that we got that origin story, because, it's one of those conversations that always needs to be had of, like, violent things and terrible things have happened in this country. Like, we can't just pretend like they never happened, So I appreciate that, and you tie that into some horror stuff. You can't go wrong.
Yeah. All right, so we got a bunch of one-shots and number ones coming up.
That was all the non-number ones?
That we're going to talk about in this zone, because it was mostly number ones this weekend. And I am saving time to talk about a bunch of the Free Comic Book Day books, so I'm going to be honest. But those are, like, the big ones that you need to check out if you haven't already jumped on those series, because they're all in, like, their 2s or 3s. Yeah. I moved all the, like, 9s and 10s to the end stocks. Like, we've told you about them. But some one-shots. This is coming straight out of Child of the Amazons. We get a one-shot called Nubia's Coronation Special. And it's done by all the people, Stephanie Williams and the team that have been working on Nubia. And this is leading into a new series called Nubia, Queen of the Amazons. So a lot of people were nervous that Nubia was going away once Child of the Amazons started. You will still have a Nubia title. And this is... During Trial of the Amazons, all of the Amazons decided that the 3 tribes of the Amazons shouldn't ever be in a battle against each other. They shouldn't be at odds. That, like, that's not what they stand for. It's not what women should be doing. So they came together, and they are now considered, like, the Amazons. And they decided to make one person queen of all of them, and that is Nubia. And in this, we get to see Nubia, the plans and prep for the coronation. Then we get to see Nubia, like, in the future, and the Amazons, like, in the future, and what, like, coming together and working together and putting, like, becoming people who lift each other up instead of trying to tear each other down for no reason other than just trying to get to the top. Like, they decide, like, what if we did work together, and what if we were united? And so we get to see a glimpse of their future, and they're, like, helping people all through the galaxy now. It's, like, shows the Amazons, like, in space, like, helping on another planet, and they're, like, we have wanted to have people as just and wonderful as you coming. And then it shows, like, it shows a lot of Nubia's backstory, which is really cool. It shows, because, you know, all the Amazons, they've had, like, this life, like, past before they were essentially in the Amazon world. And so it's a beautiful story that's like, hey, this is where your power comes from. Like, your power comes from your skill to remember the past and build a better future, and to work together, and to work strongly together, and believe in that hope and peace, and just justice in general. And it's a reminder that Wonder Woman and all of the Amazons are the best part of the Trinity of DC. Like, just saying. But
that's some strong words.
I mean, you're going between Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Like, she's the best. She's got it all. So, and Nubia is the one that they all know is their strongest, like, the strongest leader of them all, and the only person who can, like, lead them to the best future. Yeah. And it's great to see.
Yeah, I think this is kind of cool that they did this one shot. They've got the David Mack cover, and I'm glad Nubia's not going away.
Yeah.
And I kind of hope that event in particular is going to make DC say, hey, let's continue to show off. I mean, if we're going to put out all these Batman family titles and all these Superman family titles, why can't we do all these Wonder Woman family titles? Like, it makes no sense why you wouldn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to see what they keep doing. Obviously, now that Nubia is back, I need all the Wonder Girls to come back.
I know. We'll see. I would love it if they just made the Wonder Girl title with, like, all of them. Would be super cool. Like, Yada Flor leading a team of Wonder Girls.
I'd be so on board for that. I'd be so on board for that.
Oh, this was in the wrong spot, but they're one-shots anyway, so it doesn't matter. The Storyteller from Jim Henson. This is the Shapeshifters series. Oh my gosh. But each one is a one-shot, kind of like we were talking about with Monkey Meat, how it's an anthology. These kind of are too, but they feel a lot more like one-shots because it's just, him talking to the dog, telling a story. And in this particular one, it's the story of how the Kitsune of Japanese folklore got its name, and the story of a man who meets a wonderful, beautiful woman. He falls in love. He has a family, and the family thinks that she's something that she's not, and they always not treating her like, they're like always like a little weary on who she is, and something happens one day and she turns into somebody that is not what they expected. And because she's so afraid that everybody will judge her for who she really is, she leaves the family and never comes back. And it's the story of him raising their daughter on his own and kind of hoping that someday, like, his wife will return and realize that that's not, like, that nobody is judging her, and, like, kind of coming to terms with sometimes, like, we are so worried that people are going to judge us that we prejudge for them, and we don't give them the second chance to, like, accept us for who we are. And we miss out on life because we're so worried about that happening. Yeah. It's really beautiful.
I mean, I've heard nothing but great things about the Storyteller series. It's tied to Jim Henson, so it's going to be really good. But in the art in these books,
they're done by Archaia.
That makes sense. Of
yeah,
course,
so that's why I was like, it's the, like, fairy tale essentially.
They only know how to tell beautiful books. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would definitely check this one out. And I mean, so far every miniseries they've had
has been wonderful, all the way back to, like, the beginning of time. Another one shot, the Frontiersman lockup special. If you haven't been reading Image Comics Frontiersman, You're missing out on a really weird story. That's really cool. Our title card for it on the wall actually says, this is what would happen if Nick Offerman's, like, Ron Swanson became a superhero. Because it is a guy who has a, surly, gruff dude who's retired from being a superhero, is living off the grid in the middle of nowhere. He's literally got the power of, like, he's the frontiersman. He's just, like, good at being, like, that kind of thing, like a woodsman. And he's over it. He's, the world doesn't need him. They're not trying. Nobody wants to save the environment. Nobody's with him. He's moved on. And one day these kids come and they ask him to help out by helping them protest. And so he's ended up in this tree where he's doing one of those, like, sit-ins at a tree, and he's up really high on it. And while he's stuck up there, for the first time exposed to the public in, like, 30 years, all of his old villain and hero, like, nemesis and accomplices and things like that are coming out of the woodwork. Not literally, because I know I said tree. But they're coming up and showing him, like, oh, well, we have unfinished business. Like, there's, like, the Giganta style superhero that's, like, our supervillainous, I think, who's like, we used to be a couple and you just ghosted me. Like, we need to deal with this. And it's all live on TV. So there's, like, a scene of them, like, having sex live on TV. And they're like, oh, this is being, like, streamed by all the news media. Anyway, at one point during the series, he ends up fighting one of his former, like, nemesis. And in it, he ends up killing him. And so they don't know what happened, so he gets arrested, and this one shot is all about him being in jail. And he's like, I want to do this right, like, I'm going to let people in. Other heroes are coming in, like, hey, we can get you out of this. And he's like, no, I have to do this the right way. I want to be sentenced or freed by a jury of my peers. Like, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to do this. And we kind of see how that works out for him throughout this one shot. And so this is obviously leading us into the next volume of Frontiersman, which is really great. I'm glad it's not over, but it was cool to see some new characters come into play in this. And I always like those books where superheroes take on, like, I want to take the regular, like, mortal way of repercussions and have that conversation. So really cool to see how this character particularly is going to deal with that.
Yeah, I like that they kind of put this one shot together. I feel like everyone should do that. If you can give us, like, especially two of between both arcs, there's going to be time, in between that. Tell a fun little story, and, you can even take some time off in between arcs if you want. You don't have to immediately keep going, but, these one shots would definitely be a great little way to do this. I mean, I have yet to start reading Frontiersman, but it is on that ever-growing list of books that at some point I will sit down and read. And
I think we have Trades of Volume 1 still in stock. I didn't pull one today because I totally forgot that I had this in the pile, but I think we have at least one trade left, but it's probably still available for order. All right, Keenspot's got a new number 1, and we have some things to talk about. It's called One Night in Prague, and Chapter 1 is The White Cat. Go ahead, Phil, tell them what this book is about.
So this is the story of a young pianist prodigy who gets hit by a car because, of course, he was looking at a pretty girl across the street. And, there's him getting hit by the car. And he loses 3 fingers.
Yes.
And it also turns out that this is a world where cats and dogs actually fight each other. But they're shapeshifters.
Yeah, they get to be, like, humanoid, like, kind of characters.
And so the princess of the cats has been kidnapped by the I think he's the hound, the black hound or the dark hound, or he's got some, like, villainous dog name. And so this kid somehow falls into this world of cats and dogs and is like, go save the princess.
Yeah, they basically tell him, if you save the princess, we have magical powers, like the kind that allow us to shift into humans, and so we can actually become help you repair your fingers.
Yes.
It feels like somebody, like, watched or read Doctor Strange and was like, oh, you know what if, like, instead of, like, mastering the mystic arts to, like, save the world. He, like, mastered the mystic arts to stop cats and dogs from fighting.
Yeah.
Because it's like, because it has that whole, like, ooh, we're gonna, like, have the car accident, he's hurt, his hands are hurt, and he wants to get his hands back so he can go back to doing his job. But instead of falling into, like, the Ancient One teaching him magic, he is falling into a war between cats and dogs.
Yeah. It's such a bizarre premise for a comic, but, I mean, we live in a time period where pretty much anything can be turned into a comic and published because there's so much out there. It's just weird because, like, he goes to this, like, cat palace underground, and I just love that there's this tiny little cat with a crown sitting on a throne, and he just looks like such a grumpy little old cat. Like, he seems like one of those cats you're like, I'm not going to pet you unless you come to me because you look like you're kind of grumpy.
I'm not going to lie, that's when I really started paying attention the most, was when they started showing all the cats.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, look at all these different cats.
Yeah.
Let's see, I can tell what your personality is and your personality.
But then he, like, touches the cat's butt and gets electrocuted and then somehow gets his fingers back, and I'm like, who wrote this thing? Who wrote this book?
It's a thing.
Also, yeah, he's the Lord of Hounds. The thing that I think I have the issue the most with this book is that it speeds through this first issue very quickly, where it's like, hey, go find the princess, and then all of a sudden he's found the princess.
Yeah.
Like, he just walks into the room and he's like, oh, you're the villain. And in this first, like, they already break out.
Yeah, I was like, is this book not about the actual, like, mission? Like, is there going to be something that comes later, and, like, that's just, like, the first piece of the puzzle, and, like, there's going to be more to the story? But I was like, I want more to the story. I'm intrigued between a war of cats and dogs that he has to earn. I wanted more story, and so I hope that when we get to issue 2, because there is an issue 2, and it's all about her being a warrior and stuff, so I'm hoping that we're going to get, like, the finding the princess wasn't the story, and the story is actually what happens once he finds the princess. It's like, you know.
I get real Twilight vibes from this book. Like, it's a love story.
Oh,
this is going to be a love story between him and the cat princess.
100% this is a love story between him and the cat princess. So, Robert Pattinson, if you're available, you can play the guy who falls in love with the rat princess.
Although I'm pretty sure he's Asian,
he might be, yeah.
Maybe not Robert Pattinson.
Simu Liu. I would love to see you fall in love with the cat princess. I will play the cat princess, and Simu Liu can fall in love with me, and it'll be a great story. Mostly I just want to wear her outfit because it's super cool.
Yeah.
And I was already like, I could cosplay this character.
I saw the live action Cats movie, so I don't know if I want to see...
Right, we're not casting Taylor Swift in this, okay?
Well, I'm not opposed to that either. I mean, she was the sole reason I saw that movie in the first place.
And the sole reason was everybody else wished they'd done it. And I love you, Taylor Swift, but that was maybe not the best choice.
For any of those people.
For anybody.
Any person who decided to be a part of that movie.
Yeah.
Except for James Corden, because fuck you. All right, next book.
That's like a universal loss. The next book is from A Wave Blue World. This is Mezo, #1. Now, it's the Battle of Coban, Coban Rock. And this is a volume 2. And a lot of times, it's issue 1 of volume 2. And I didn't know that when I ordered it. Mm-hmm. Because I hadn't seen volume 1, but I was so excited about the fact that there was, like, this whole, like, Mesoamerican, like, book, because, you know, we have Primos right now, and we've got the, like, all the Mesoamerican kind of culture, like, coming into the backstory of Primos, but we don't really see it in the foreground story as much. And so I was like, oh man, this one looks like it's, like, all about it, and I'm so excited to see how they do that. And it 100% is. However, wait until I order volume 1, because you might be a little lost, because this was like, oh, we are, like, diving deep. We're already in this story. We already kind of have, like, what's going on. They give you a really good synopsis at the beginning, and I love all of the characters, but I was like, oh, I just feel like I'm missing, like, this one little piece of the puzzle, and it's just a little piece. Like, there's one more bit of information, like, that I need to make it all click into place, and so I'm going to order volume 1. But I definitely think that it is a well-written story, and it's a lot of fun, and it's going to have, like, this great big battle. Like, we've got one of the like warriors is this like super awesome chick, and she's got all the like really cool like body paint design work on her. And then one of the guys, he went blind, so his helmet like covers his eyes, and he like cool. Is like actually like the best fighter, and it's super cool to see. Great characters. The villain's really cool. It's all around like this concept of the eclipse and what happened to them during the eclipse, and now they're trying to like fix it. It goes into the spirit world and talks to a lot of the gods that they believe in and that they focus on. It's super, super cool. The variant cover is actually done by Terry Blass, who is the Reptile nice. Writer, and so it's absolutely great. I can't wait to read Volume 1, and I think that you should, when I get Volume 1 in stock, you should read Volume 1 and buy Volume 2, Issue 1. Yeah. Because it's super good, and I'm going to keep ordering it on the hopes that I get Volume 1.
And you can't see it, but it's actually considered Mezo 2, number 1. So in the O, there's the 2, which I didn't notice. The art looks really great in this book. But yeah, I opened it up and I saw hey, we're going to recap Volume 1. And I said, okay, I can't read this because I will be lost.
And usually when they do that, I'm like, perfect. Like, that's the exact amount of recap I need to figure it out. But this story is so rich in not only, like, the story, like, their universe's culture, but or their universe's storytelling and depths of it that they've gone into, but it also has, like, the actual cultural depths and everything from the actual beliefs and stuff that, like, all twine and everything. And I was like, okay, I have to know what we're pulling from the real world and what we're pulling from, like, what is from this made-up world and where we're going to align with that so I can keep going. Because I'm, like, super intrigued, but I feel like there's just one little piece of the puzzle that until I put it in place, I'm not going to necessarily know. But God, that girl is such a badass.
Well, if you have Mezo Volume 1,
get Mezo Volume 2.
Volume 2's out. First issue's out, so you can come pick it up. But we'll get copies of Volume 1.
Yeah, we will. Let's go Dogs of London, since we were just talking about some dogs in the One Night in Prague.
So this is Dogs of London number 1. This is an Aftershock title, written by Peter Milligan. It was actually the first book that I read of this week's books. 1, because it's Peter Milligan.
Fair.
But 2, I thought it was going to be a book about dogs.
It's not about dogs.
Like anthropomorphic dogs.
Right. This did the mother F goose bait and switch on you.
Really got me. This is your typical mob story.
Yeah, it's Dogs of London in like the sense of Reservoir Dogs. Is really a better way to go with that. Like, it's mobster, it's like action. It's not like, it's like you're the dogs, like the underdog of the culture.
Yeah, but it's basically you have your 2 warring families, your 2 warring mob families. They hate each other. There's that whole Romeo and Juliet tie-in to it. But this issue, it kind of does that like typical mob trope where it introduces you to all the guys and like gives you the little bits and pieces of who they are and why they are the way they are. And then it just kind of gives you a little bit of a backstory. Like, one of the families, it's the Quins, and I don't remember the other ones. The Quins are the bad guys, supposedly.
Because of who's telling the story.
Yes, because of who's telling the story, we assume that the Quins are the bad ones. But it's basically just like all these enforcers in London in the 60s. And one of the groups is called the Dogs, and it's like a bunch of violent dudes that just go around and kind of cause problems. They have your typical, like, they're kind of estranged from their families because, you know, they're an embarrassment and they're all that. But the really great thing is you kind of get this backstory in the 60s, and then at the end of the issue, it fast forwards to 2010. And the guy who's narrating the story, it's now him, like, after this life.
Yeah.
And the issue kind of leaves off with like, hey, maybe the past that you tried to bury will always be there to haunt you. And it's interesting. Like, I was of course, obviously, because they don't have dog heads, I was immediately like, this is less appealing to me. And then when it kind of hit all those mob tropes, I was like, okay, I don't think I really care about this.
And then it did the shift, and I was like, oh, I'm in.
Yeah, and then it did the shift, and you're like, well, now, okay, I'm very intrigued by what you're going to do with this. And because it is Peter Milligan, I think I do kind of, like, lean a little bit into like, I'll stick around.
You've got a plan.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
And Matt said it sounds very Guy Ritchie, and I think that's a very good assessment.
Very Guy Ritchie, yeah. It definitely played out like many movies that I've seen before, where I'm like, okay, this is how it's gonna be. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I think those last like 3 or 4 pages are really great.
Yeah, the last 3 or 4 pages is what sells the book, in my opinion, because it's like you said, everything's kind of tropey, and then you get to those last 3 or 4 pages, and you're like, oh, this was tropey on purpose.
Yes.
Because you wanted me to think we were doing this, but, like, we're doing this, and it, like, kind of comes out of that. So, I think it was a good plan, and it's a good use of the Aftershock first issue exposition.
Yeah.
Like, because they always do that, like, exposition dump in the first Aftershock book, and I think that they used it really well. Yes. To hook you instead of just like throw all the information at you. Yeah,
and there are bits and pieces throughout that I really like. I'm not gonna say who it is, but I like who the main character marries. You know, like the backstory and like little tidbits from the backstory that kind of lead into the end of the issue is like, okay, you're really setting up something good here, and I like what you're pulling from it. So let's go. Yeah, let's give it a go.
I can't wait to see what happens in issue 2 because I'm really curious about what the direction's going to be. Yeah. Up next is Past the Last Mountain #1 from CEX Comics, because I still don't know how they're trying to say that. It's Comic Experience Publishing is what it stands for, but this is Past the Last Mountain #1, and this has been delayed for a while. I ordered this like 17 billion years ago, I feel like, and it's finally here. But it's a big fantasy world. Yeah. And we're about to see, we are getting to see, and what I kind of like about it is we are getting to see the way those fantasy war stories actually begin.
Yes. But also, too, it's interesting because they talk about a previous war. And now they're ramping up for the exact same war. And as it always is, history repeats itself. But I wasn't really sure what to expect from this book. I haven't seen many books from them.
Right, we haven't.
And this is like an oversized first issue. But I do like it because you have your like government official character, but tied into this world where a long time ago there was a war between humans and like magical woodland creatures. There's dragons and trolls and
orcs and goblins and fairies and.
But essentially, this war that went on, eventually we kind of contained all of those creatures into like a government facility. Yeah. And a few of them have broken out, and that's kind of what's kicking this off. It's a bit of a kind of a sad issue. There was a little bit where I was like, "Oh wow, this is kind of sad," but I like it. Yeah. I actually really like this story.
I was really surprised. This is one that Chad from we talked about the Lantern Cast a lot. Chad from the Lantern Cast actually had ordered this, and I was like, I don't know how many I'm gonna order. I see this thing coming up, and Chad had pre-ordered it, and I was like, oh. Okay, like, maybe I'll get a couple since somebody already wants it, other than, like, me looking at it and thinking, like, it might be good. And I thought, same thing, I don't really know what I'm going into, and I saw when I opened it up that it had, like, multiple little stories in there.
Yeah, in the back there's war stories.
Yeah, so I was like, does it not connect? Like, does it connect? And I love that the war stories in the back are just kind of how war and the start of a war impacts everybody in different ways.
The first little story I love is the human girl and the creature guy who are like sitting there listening to the radio, and she's like, do you want to make out? And he's like, well, my skin's like a jellyfish, so you wouldn't enjoy this at all. And she's like, oh, okay. And then there's something over the radio that's like, this war's happening, and they're like, oh, does this mean we're enemies now? And they're like, nah.
And they just turn off the radio and then, like, keep doing what they're doing. Yeah. And I love that. I love seeing that so many different things. Like, you see the way it affects, like, the like racism that like the xenophobia that immediately comes up. There's a whole story about that where we see like ogres pretending to eat people so that these humans will run away from them, and they're like gets them every time, and it's like because they just assume that like all of them are this bad, and you see the people like ones like you said like that are trying to connect, and you see the people who are instantly like, okay, well I got to gear up for battle. You see all these different characters, which is a great way to introduce us to all the different types of characters we might see in the story. Without having to kind of do a story where you have 12 new characters all at the beginning. We kind of get little tidbits here and there. And all of these people could come back into the main story we could just keep following them individually. So it's kind of a cool way to do that in your oversized first issue. Mm-hmm. But it definitely, it feels like you're watching the beginning of like before like Saga, like this is like the prequel to that, like how did this war start, like you want to know, like well this is what happened. And even like this one that you're on right now where there's people, because they've always worked with the creatures and humans have been working together since the last war for the most part, and you see this particular story where they're like, oh I guess we have to apprehend this person now, and they're like, but isn't that our friend? And they're like, well what else are we supposed to do, we're good citizens. And it's like they just don't know, like you see how people are like conflicted and don't know how to like make the right choice at this point because they're scared for themselves and they don't really know, and they're getting all this like media influx coming at them and government orders and things like that. So it's really interesting to see how you can put all of those things into the fantasy world and kind of flow it into a story about a fantasy war.
Yeah, and honestly for me, for this publishing company, like, if you want to build a universe within your publishing company, I think this is a good book to do it with. Mm-hmm. Like, you've already shown that you know how to do that because you told all these little mini stories in the back, and you're going to have this one long continuous story, but, like, build upon this world. Like, give us a prequel book, you know, show us the first war. Give us a side book where it's like some of these creatures in the containment facility mm-hmm. and how like they, you know, how that whole system operates.
Yeah, I would buy all of the different books.
Yeah,
like, I'd read
I
them
totally
all.
would.
Mm-hmm.
I was really surprised by how much I enjoyed this book. Yeah. The art's great. I really like the story. The fire-breathing dragon in this, like they give you that whole moment and like cinematic moment where it's like, oh, we took out the fire-breathing ability a long time ago, and there's the one guy who's like, they're never not a threat, and you're like, wait, hold on a second, and then the next panel, it's like breathing fire, and you're like, okay, right
I'm here for it, yes.
This is cool. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book a lot.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to more, and I think because it was delayed for so long that they're going to come out really fast back to back now.
Okay.
Because I already saw that issue 2 was listed as coming out this week. Don't know if that's true or if it's going to be pushed back too, and that's like the delays, but we'll see.
Are they going to be oversized still?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think so. I think they're all like $5.99 because they think they're all oversized.
I'm down.
Since we're in the world of fantasy creatures, let's go to Quest Aside, issue 1 for Vault.
Yes, this is one of those where I see the story, but I'm trying to figure out, like, because every time I read a comic, I'm like, what can I compare this to on the live stream? Like, what's something in pop culture? And this one, I kind of was like, is it like Waiting?
So, kind of, but the tagline is, it's always sunny in the realms. So it's gonna be like
that makes sense. Like Sunny in Philadelphia.
If you put Always Sunny in Philadelphia and like Rat Queens together.
Yes.
Like,
okay.
Because you're in one of those mythical worlds. You've got all those creatures. You've got a skeleton that works at this bar.
I love the skeleton.
The skeleton is so great. Oh my gosh.
Also, I don't know if you noticed this, but is there a possibility that there's a crossover
with Barbaric?
Right?
Yes.
With his knife?
Yes.
Where it's just like, no way.
I know. He's the skeleton is the chef, and his knife has the same artwork design and like mouth as the axe from Barbaric, and it talks to him. Yeah. So we might be in the same world.
That would be so cool.
I saw that and I was like, oh my god, do it. Yeah. And then when he like, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great. This is all I need now. Is that to happen? Essentially, it's the story of a barkeeper who has a bar called Quest Aside because it's where you go when you're on your quests and you need to just decompress. And you got like kind of like you said, it does kind of have that waiting vibe where all the staff is like, we really don't give a shit what you're dealing with at all, but they're like, we're just here to make money and go home, like, why are you telling us your problems, kind of thing. But the owner of it is constantly getting, offers to buy his bar, and in this first issue, the king of the kingdom, the king of the realms, is coming to the bar, and we find out that one of the characters has very sordid history with the king, and he's like, hey, you gotta take the day off. And so she's like, no, I don't think I will. This is my moment. Like, I have been aimed for this
I'm assassinating him today.
Like, I have told you that if my chance ever came up, this is my chance. And it feels like just like a boss and an employee talking about, like, why you're in a bad mood. Because she's like, no, I am doing this. Like, you know this. And it's like, you're talking about killing the king. Yeah. And you're like, this is just what we're doing today. And
I think my favorite moment was the skeleton Ray who, like, comes up after the king leaves and it's like, I don't need this. Like, I can leave. I'll leave right now and all your undead customers will come with me. And he's like, the king loved your food. And he's like, did you hear that? The king loved my food. Like, oh, this is such a great day.
Yeah.
This book was hilarious. Yeah, there's this little back and forth right here where, like, the king sends ahead a guy who plays a guitar to let you know that the king is coming. Well, there's also a guy that sits outside the bar to sing you a song to let you know you've made it. And they kind of have, like,
it's a battle of the bards.
Like, this is ridiculous.
It's kind of a parody of all of the other, like, in the sense of, we were talking about, like, Jeff Lemire's like, hey, there's a lot of vampire books, I'm going to make, like, a heartfelt one. Yeah. This was Vault saying, hey, there's a lot of D&D and adventure-based books. We're going to make a parody of them because we're Vault. Yeah. And we're going to bring you that book.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like every D&D campaign I've ever played starts in a bar where I meet everyone and we start our quest. This is like what happens in that bar when you leave. Mm-hmm. What are their lives like? And it's a wonderful concept for a comic. I thoroughly enjoyed this book, and I like where it's going. I like the story that they've kind of set up here. But talk about a lot of really well-written characters that are going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah, they always say that the best sign of good writing is you wonder what's happening with the character when they're not on the page. And every time a character leaves the scene in this book, I'm always like, where did they go? What are they doing? Like, what are they up to? Like, go back to that person. Mm-hmm. And it's every character. Like, you meet a new character and you're like, oh, I gotta go back to this one now. Like, what? Wait, no, don't do that. Yeah. So I think that the characters in here are really, really strong. And we get a really good, like, setup for issue 2. Mm-hmm. And I cannot wait to see where this book goes. Not surprising that Vault has a hilarious adventure book on their hands, but this is, I feel like it's going to be like Waiting meets Always Sunny meets Empire Records in the end, because everybody's after his shop. So, damn the man, save the Empire, or damn the Empire, save the man in this case.
Yeah. Save the man in this case. But yeah, definitely pick this one up. It's a ton of fun. And of course, we're going to be waiting for that barbaric crossover at some point.
Waiting for it. Don't let me down, Waffles. Yeah. Up next this is from Image. It's on the Top Cow imprint, which is like popping a lot back now. Yeah. And it is a Metal Society, which sounds very 90s, but is also kind of very 90s.
Yes, it is very 90s. I basically wrote down that this was Not All Robots meets Rocky. Yes. But there's also some other element that I'm trying to figure out that kind of makes me think of that really bad movie, Real Steel. Like, there's like revolution somewhere tied underneath all of this.
Running Man meets Not All Robots meets...
but, like, without the intense social commentary that Mark Russell brings to the table. So this is kind of the story of it's a futuristic world where humans died off a long time ago and robots just kind of picked up where we left off, and now they've kind of gone full circle to where now they are creating humans
to do all the jobs they don't want in the same way that we created robots.
And so this follows the story of a human girl who she starts out as like a construction worker type. She works out in the fields. A lot of mistreatment happening. and she discovers this gym, and she starts working out, and they're definitely building towards revolution, but they're kind of showing you this world that we're in, and it's gonna center around a fighting match.
Yeah, they basically said it's like humans versus robots in MMA style battle. Yeah. And we start out with, we're at the championship battle, which is between her and like the top robot. And because she is one of the humans that they engineered humans to be able to withstand steel so that they could like, you know, fight back against evil robots if that case ever came up to them. And so she's not all of the humans, though, just like certain ones. And she apparently is one of the ones that was part of this new line of humans that could do that. So, and yeah, we've got a lot of revolution vibes coming in, a lot of concepts. So this is going to start out as an MMA book, like MMA robots versus humans, but kind of probably morph into some kind of human uprising story.
Yeah, and that was kind of the only thing I was curious about, because it kind of leans heavy on this fighting thing. I was curious if the whole series was going to be the fight, and then we were going to see like bits and pieces of the backstory, or maybe jumping to the future a bit, or is the fight going to end in like 2 issues?
Yeah,
and then it's going to be the aftermath of the fight. Like, I don't know where this is going.
It's hard to say because it's top count, and it's even harder to take it seriously because there's an advertisement for Cyberforce on the back. So I don't know if it's going to stay in that like 90s like mentality, or if it's going to kind of go in this like, you know, new comic thing where we are like, okay, well, we wanted you to come for the fighting, but we're really here for the revolution. So I don't know, like, if it's gonna just kind of stay in that zone, or if it's gonna like move forward. I'm intrigued, and I'm curious to see what they do in issue 2 to see if they do move us forward. It did seem like the further it got into the book, the more Zach Kaplan started to like lean on that revolution conversation. So I think that he is just kind of using it as a way to kind of say like, hey, you know, no matter what, humans will always find a way to gain, you know, grow and revolutionize against whatever it is that's in there. So I hope that's where we go.
Yeah, me too. I'm a little iffy on this series. I don't know what to expect. But as long as they're fighting, I'll read it, you know. I liked the Rocky movies.
Right.
So I'm definitely into fighting. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting.
Did you like Real Still, since you brought it up?
No.
Okay.
I
was like, I had to ask because you brought it up, and I was like,
movie.
I mean, if you're bringing it up, like, let's see what happens.
There was just a brief period of time where Hugh Jackman was making bad decisions cinematically, and that just happened to be in that time period.
That's fair. Since we're talking about bots, let's talk about Stonebot bringing us a new book. Stonebot is an imprint of Red 5, and 78 miles per hour is finally out. I have had a customer who subscribed to this book and has asked me every week to like include it in their box. And because every week they think it's the week it's coming out because it keeps getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, and it's finally here. So I actually read it first because I was like, I gotta know what this book is and why it was delayed. And also it's Stonebot. So yeah. Basically, it's another one of the books where, because this is a theme that we're seeing, a motif right now, of the sun kind of taking a different, like the sun either being blacked out or the sun being too strong, or things we're seeing in comics right now. And this kind of goes in reverse Noctera, where we try to science the sun and fix the ozone layer, and instead of fixing it as we do as humans, we messed it up and we made it worse. And now it goes from like a normal temperature to like 900 degrees, but they managed to knock the Earth off its, like, complete orbit.
By one country setting off all of their nuclear bombs to blow up the country that caused it. And they all blew up underground, which somehow made it okay.
Which somehow knocked the Earth, like, off its access point, essentially. And it leaves us with people on the, like, basically having to drive in a group to get to get away from the sun.
Yeah, it's like Speed set in the Mad Max universe.
It's like Speed set in the Mad Max universe.
You can't go slower than
78
or the sun will catch up to you. And they built like this giant moving car city.
Yeah.
That they're traveling on. This to me is like, if you're ever on Amazon Prime, or even sometimes Hulu, and you scroll across one of these like really bad B movies, like set in the future. That's this book.
I can see that.
The story is so bad, but I'm so intrigued.
Yeah, I was like, it's one of those, because it's like,
intrigued.
it's one of those, like you said, those movies where, like the disaster movies. Every time I see a new disaster movie, I'm like, the science of this is so bad, but yet I can't stop watching it. Like, I want to see what happens.
Oh, yeah.
And this is definitely one of those. I'm like, the science is completely off, and they lean so much on the science at the beginning that I'm like, okay, well, you really, like, don't need to focus on that because your science doesn't make any sense. At all. But towards the end, you give me characters, and I'm like, oh, now they have a problem. Like, let's see what these characters do to get out of the problem. I'm more intrigued by that than the terrible science at the beginning. But I am intrigued to see where it goes enough that, I mean, it's Stonebot, so I definitely want to see what they do with it. But
I mean, I liked the art in the beginning, like when they showed like the world catching on fire and some of the stuff, how they were like, oh, they thought they were ghosts, but it was actually just like
humans.
Like humans burning. And I kind of was like, yo, the science is so terrible in this. But then when I saw that they are going to be primarily on this like city of cars that they've somehow put together, I was like, oh, this is going to be so bad in such a good way.
In such a good way. I'm here for it. I'm going to see what happens.
Yeah, because also the way this issue ends, where you're like, well, okay, like, I thought this book was over in the first issue, but you've kind of maybe sort of found a way to work it around that, but like, how long does that last and where do we go with it?
You know, we'll find out.
But look, if you just give me very bad dialogue and all of those like B-movie things that I need to see, I'll continue to read this book.
And he'll love it. And
I will love
no
it.
matter how much it sounds like he doesn't, he will love the
I'm
drama.
laughing because it's bad, but it's my kind of bad.
Right. This is a guy who thinks Nicolas Cage is the greatest actor of all time.
If you've never seen Vampires Kiss, I just convinced my buddy to watch Vampires Kiss. He found it at the dollar store, and he bought it, and he was like, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen. And I was like, Nicolas Cage, he doesn't disappoint. He just doesn't.
So there you go.
If you turn this into a movie and you put Nicolas Cage in this movie, I will be there day 1.
And probably day 3 and day 7, because he'll go multiple times.
I will see him multiple times.
Oh my gosh, yes. And it'll be great. We'll be like, where's Phil? And he'll be like snapping that he just got out of a 78 miles per hour starring Nicolas Cage.
I'll have the stand in my room.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
The movie theater.
Please do that, Stonebot. Red 5, do it. I want to see Phil be that happy. I need that in my life. Cure all of the sad things that have ever happened to Phil by making them.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
All right, those are our hot new titles. We've got some picks of the week. We've got 2 picks of the week that are comics that you have to buy, and then we've got a couple of. We're gonna run through some free comic book day. That's not an actual like picks of the weeks, and then jump into some in stocks of things that we are gonna be still having around from free comic book day, but. To start it off, this is not a free comic. This is one you have to buy. This is part of the Heavy Metal Elements imprint, and it is Star Wars by Steve Orlando.
Yes. This is my pick of the week because is it Black Beacon was the other one? So basically, when I see these Heavy Metal Elements and they have these style covers, I'm already immediately like, I think I'm going to love this book. I feel like heavy metal has just completely blown me away with how good the books that they've done in this Elements imprint. And then you have Steve Orlando doing the story, and this is the opening page, and I immediately was like, I love this book. So this follows the Star Wars sisters. It's 7 of them who are basically like cosmic protectors. Like they protect the universe. There is Chaos, who is this villain that's like trapped in the cosmos, and they kind of protect him in his cage. They guard him, and one day they let their guard down. He gets out and he just destroys everything.
As you would imagine.
And so the cool thing about this is that essentially what happens is the seven sisters were kind of separated and spread out, and then over time had forgotten their previous life. So this follows one of the sisters, Stephanie, who is about to turn 20 years old, and it is her day being prepared to turn 20. And so she's a lifeguard, she's a freshman in college, and so this is kind of her like hanging out at the pool, and having this conversation with her friend of like, is this really what I expected it to be, and complaining about summer jobs. And then she falls into the pool, and her friend cannot get her out because she's too heavy. And so they finally get her out of the pool, and they put her in the locker room, and she transforms into a Star Wars sister.
Yeah.
And this is kind of her finding out about her past and like slowly remembering who she was. And so basically in her third decade of living, she is going to rejoin the Star Wars sisters. And this is kind of like the first one. And it's like, okay, now you have to go find the other ones, and you know, go back to protecting the cosmos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. I mean, if you're a fan of the Sailor Moon or any of the Magical Girl series, like this is going to be a great choice for you. It kind of feels like if you took Sailor Moon and mixed it with Steve Orlando's Commanders in Crisis, like you would blend into that thing. And honestly, for me, when Steve Orlando does his own concepts, he's like unstoppable. He does such a great job, like coming up with like the weirdest like superpowers and heroes and things like that. That just means something to the character so perfectly. And so I think it's going to be really, really cool to see how he does this story and how he brings them all into play. And the artwork, the design of all these costumes, and the way that the space looks and all this stuff. I mean, you drew in a magical girl transformation, and it looks so cool. So I ordered this. When I ordered it out of the previous catalog, I was like, oh, like you said, oh, it's the new Heavy Metal Elements book. I'm probably in already. And then I was like, ooh, and it's Steve Orlando. We have a lot of Steve Orlando fans. I'm going to get a couple of these. And I was actually putting out the comics on Tuesday, and Juan and Rodney were volunteering with us, a couple of our volunteers who you may have met if you were here for Comic Day. But they were volunteering, and it was so funny because first Juan walks by and goes, what's that one? What's this? This is like pretty and I like it, and it's got Steve Orlando's name on it. What is it? And I'm like, oh man, look at it, check it out. And telling him about it, and he's like, we want this in our box. And then Rodney comes by and he like puts it like, when you pull these, put this in our box. And then Rodney comes by and was like, what are we getting in our box? He's like, look at this book from Steve Orlando. And like they're like, oh my god, like we're putting this in our box. Like, well, so they're helping me sort the comics, and they're like, we need this one. And I was like, see, this is what I thought would happen. Like Magical Girls by Steve Orlando. Like it's so great. And just as much as Steve Orlando always does, it's immediately emotionally like charged to like, she's like, I don't know what any of this is, but I have to deal with it. But then also Steve Orlando has really good comedic timing as a writer, and so you get that like douchey bro coming in and trying to like ruin everything, and she's like, just like leave me alone.
I love that though. She has this like inner voice, and it's like, we should kill him. Kill him, and it's like, no, we're not going to be violent. Let's not be violent.
Right. So we should start the destruction sequence.
It's really well written. I love the art in this book. It's drawn really well. It's going to be very colorful, especially once we get to the Cosmos stuff. Like, it's going to be very, very colorful. And I loved how this issue ended up. Yeah. Like, the way this issue wraps up, I was like, I'm so fully on board for this. This is everything that I want in a Steve Orlando superhero story. Yes. It's going to be great.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I definitely check it out. And if you haven't, also go back and read Black Beacon, because that was another one that I really enjoyed.
Absolutely. And then the other actual pick of the week, before we talk free comic book day picks of the week, but the other new release this week is the shocker to no one that Twig made it into our picks of the week this week.
Who would have known?
Who would have guessed that Phil and I would pick the new Scotty Young book for our pick of the week?
With this adorable little creature.
He's so adorable.
So adorable.
Scotty Young, if we are not already in talks on plushies, you are failing me in more ways than I can imagine. Well, Image, let's Image Scotty, get it together. Where's my plushie?
I could have sworn I saw something. I guess I didn't. I thought I saw something in the book. Oh yeah.
Like people making little clay versions?
Yeah, someone made like a cool little clay version of Twig. Which is super cool. But yeah, this needs merchandise, Image. Get on it immediately. Because people will buy the crap out of that stuff.
Yes.
Also, another one of those like Heroes Quest side characters that you'll fall in love with, Splat, is adorable.
Yes.
Is adorable. He's got that like real goofy, like comedic aspect to him where, Twig is late for his first day as the new job. And he's like, I told you to wake me up. And he's like, no, you did not say anything about waking up. And he's like, but I told you it was an important day and I needed to be up. And he's like, yeah, but you didn't say that. I mean, like, I don't hear you saying that I needed to wake you up.
You still have not said anything about needing to wake you up. You just said, I can't be late and it's important. Seems I figured you were going to wake yourself up.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love it. And we just did, oh my gosh, what was the book that we just talked about with the kid that went on the quest? And I just read one of the... Oh, Poiko. I just read Poiko from Vault's Wonderbound imprint. And it's the same kind of story where his whole thing is, like, he has to go... So he's a delivery person and he's always late. And that's the whole thing is he's like, well, I'm always late because I'm helping people. And I love it that we come into Twig and they're like, oh, Twig, you're late again. Like, I love that it's like, okay, well, we assume that this is going to happen. However, you can't do this ever again. What I love about this is that it is a Scotty Young story. So we have this cute little creature who has become, essentially, his new job is to go on this quest, and he takes these jewels of sorts, and he's supposed to deliver them. But what I love about it is Scotty Young immediately already brings layers to that story, and it's not just this quest book. This is a kid who his father passed away, and this was his father's job, and in this world, you're supposed to follow in those footsteps. And he gave up his dream to kind of follow in those steps that were assigned to him. Mm-hmm. And he kind of keeps talking about, like, but this is what I want to do. Like, and they're like, well, why do you like doing that? And he's like, oh, I like doing it because this is how I feel happy and it helps, because I make other people happy. And so, you're already getting those layers of I'm giving up what I wanted so that I can follow my responsibilities and do what I need to do and, like, honor my parents. And so it being that Scotty Young, I'm assuming at some point we're going to see that honoring your parent is by being yourself.
Right.
I'm sure we'll get to that at some point. But it's Scotty Young, and we've already had, like, 4 twists in this story in the first issue.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, this is, like, if you enjoy Bone or Kanto, and you just kind of like that adorable creature on an adventure where you're like, I want nothing bad to ever happen to Twig or Splat.
Right.
All of the like weird side characters in this book are funny. Mm-hmm. It's a really, really great first issue. I mean, I knew the moment that I saw the preview image of this cover, I was like, oh, I'm gonna love this book.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even need to read it to know that's gonna be good. But yeah, it's a great hero's journey. Mm-hmm. They use the word quest in this book a few times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely pick this up. Kyle Strom is the artist, and he does a fantastic job. Also the colors on this book as well. I mean, you have to pick this one up.
Yeah.
This is a must. This is one that if you haven't read it by issue 2 or 3, all the issues are going to be gone. Yes. And you're going to have to trade weight for it.
Absolutely. I'm laughing over here because BJ said writer McBaby Covers has a good shot at getting Twig made into a kids show or film. It's visually beautiful and really cute.
I would definitely be down for either a TV show or a movie. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think that this could be something really special for Scotty Young.
Absolutely.
So yeah, Twig, you have to pick this one up. I'd be shocked if you didn't, just based on the cover.
And so many people did this week. So many people were just like, oh my god, this is cute. I don't know what it is, but I need it.
Yeah.
And so many people were like, I can't decide which cover. Just give me all of them. And I was like, that's fair too, because there was a Peach Momoko cover. Yeah. There was like this really bright blue, beautiful cover. I can't remember who did it, but that was actually, I think, my favorite cover in the end. Gorgeous. And the series is going to be great. It's going to be wonderful. And I love Scotty talking about familial issues. All right, we're going to talk about some free comic book day books. Because I've got some favorites from this week, and then I'm going to run through all the other ones as fast as possible for you, so I don't keep you here all night, but you know what you're getting into. Oh my god, I don't even know where to start. Actually, I'm going to start here. This is Hollow. It is the new Boombox series, which is the teen imprint of Boom. Super exciting. It's by Shannon Waters, and her mom actually came to our free comic book day to pick up a copy. Yeah, she called and said, do you guys have Hollow? And I was like, for free comic book day. And I said, yes, it's fantastic. You should definitely come get one. And she's like, well, my daughter wrote it, so I want to come get it. So they actually took pictures of the Bat City sign for Shannon and put it up. This was one of the books that I recommended to all ages a million times yesterday, because this is one of those, you're the descendants of the people of your town, and you make the weird stuff happen, and it's all in Sleepy Hollow. So we've got like the descendants of all the people who were the townspeople at that time, and suddenly a kid shows up whose last name is Crane. And all the weird stuff starts happening in the town again, and it's fantastic. I don't need to tell you where it goes from there, because you can probably figure it out, but I cannot wait for this series to actually come out. Because I'm a sucker for the Descendant stories all the time, and I love Sleepy Hollow related stuff, so I'm already sold. This book was fantastic.
You didn't have to open it.
Pick of the week before we even have a book. Free comic book day, if you haven't gotten this one, like this is one I recommend you coming in and asking for. And we have, and all the books I'm going to show you for free comic book day, we actually still have, so you can still come pick them up. And
are still free.
Yes, and they're still free. They're not. That's not going to change.
So if any of this seems even like the slightest appealing to you,
we have them.
Yeah, come grab it. For sure.
Neverlanders. This is a Tom Taylor book. All you Tom Taylor fans, you need to be picking these up. This is the lead-in for. This is a Penguin graphic novel, so I believe it'll be in graphic novel form specifically. But this is the story of kids who live in a junkyard, and they're kind of, the kid outcast. They're homeless kids, they don't have anywhere to go, and a kid shows up and saves one of them, and they're like, hey, we don't usually let other kids in, but since you saved us, why don't you come to live with us? You just can't tell anybody, and you can't have any technology, and they catch him out, like, talking on his cell phone in the dark. Like, they can just see the light of the cell phone, and they're like, oh, we told you can't have phones. Like, who are you talking to? He's like, I don't have a phone. And they, like, wrestle the kid, and then all of a sudden out pops Tinkerbell. And we end up in Neverland, except things are not as they used to be in Neverland, and we find out that these kids are the only kids who might be able to save it. It's Tom Taylor, so let's just be honest, it's going to be fantastic. Let's just know that going into it.
Yeah, and I think it's great that he is writing a kid's story like this. And of course, Neverland, like, I'm
always
down.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, like another one of those worlds you can put a story in, and I'm more than likely, unless you're going to make it X-rated, and it's got cannibals in it, then I'm out.
Then we don't really.
Then we're out.
Yeah. Source Point put out the Winchester Mystery House one-shot. I'm excited that Source Point had a free comic book day title. That's super cool to me. Mm-hmm. But this is a one-shot about the Winchester Mystery House. So Source Point has already had the ongoing Winchester Mystery House series, which was 3 issues in. This one-shot does not necessarily have anything to do with that series. This is actually, like, in the modern times, a girl and her friend go to the Winchester Mystery House to take the tour. And so it's really cool because you actually get to see some of the stuff from, like, the touring the Winchester Mystery House in California, getting to know it. But this girl has paranormal abilities, like, she, medium kind of abilities. And so she ends up having, learning about the curse of the Winchester Mystery House and the actual, like, history behind it and things that are going on. And it kind of is a lead-in to the fact that we're getting more of that series. But if you don't know about the Winchester Mystery House, this is a way to figure out, to kind of learn about it, and then go back in and jump in on that series. So really cool. I love that SourcePoint is working on this in conjunction with the actual Winchester Mystery House Foundation. So it's super cool. And in my brain, I like to believe that if you went to the Winchester Mystery House, they'd have these comics on sale there. Haven't been there to check, but I really hope they do.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate that SourcePoint is kind of like running with that and saying, hey, let's keep these comics going and let's tell this story. And then, you know, it's great publicity for the house itself, where it's like, oh, we can go see this house. Yeah,
we are going to do this in revert, like, I'm talking about picks of the week instead of in stocks, like, we're going to do it exactly the way we normally do, so I'm just going to throw this out there. This is kind of comic book news / picks / things. This is Clementine, which is going to be the first book on Skybound Comet. So Skybound from Image Comics, which is an imprint of Image Comics, it's the home of The Walking Dead, it's Robert Kirkman's imprint, now has an additional imprint within that called Comet, which is their YA, their young adult middle grade imprint. So Skybound Comet is going to be the new kids and teen imprint at Skybound. And Clementine is by Tilly Walden, and it is, if you played the Telltale game of The Walking Dead, you know Clementine from that game. She's a character who was in there, and we saw her journey throughout the Walking Dead universe. Well, now they're turning it into a graphic novel series. It's going to be 3 different books, and this is a preview of the first one. And Tilly Walden is doing all the writing and the art on it. Tilly Walden is one of my favorite graphic novelists. They were the youngest Eisner Award winner ever. For their graphic novel work in the past. I love what Tilly Walden does. And also, local person. The graphic novel that Tilly won for was Spinning, which is actually based on their time going to the ice skating rink that's at Highland Mall when they were a kid.
Wow.
So, yeah, super cool to, like, the all, like, local. So, if you want to support local and you love The Walking Dead or you love the Telltale video game, like, Clementine is a great one to jump in on. And, of course, like I said, it's a great new YA imprint from Skybound, and then they've got their middle grade books down, also included in there for some teasers. So,
yeah, I'm curious about this Everyday Hero Machine Boy book.
It's pretty good. You're gonna like it. It's a Phil book.
Yeah,
I love the art on the other one, the sea serpent.
Yeah, the sea serpent. This one looks beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
I love when companies decide to dive into the YA middle grade stuff.
Yeah.
I think, we live in a time where, with like Dave Pilkney and Raina Telgemeier, where we can get kids into comics a lot earlier, so let's continue to build that as well.
Absolutely.
Obviously, all the adults that read comics, we're not going anywhere, so the best thing that you can do is just build on it. I think that's great, too. And you're doing it based off of Walking Dead, which is,
already got a huge fan base.
Yeah, so here you are, a young kid, and you're like, wow, I really like this Clementine book, and then you get to a certain age, and you're like, here's Walking Dead.
I can keep going.
You can now, read one of the most popular comic book series of all time.
Here's almost 200 issues to keep you going. Yeah. So it's great. We just got a comment from Jacinti who said, I'm here for your Never Never shade, Phil.
That Never Never book was awful. I couldn't. I'm sorry to whoever the publishing company was that put that out. That was rough. That was rough. I don't need Peter Pan eating people.
It was a very dark turn.
Yeah. I don't. Not like that. Not like that.
The next one, there were 2 books that I was obsessively, like, to all of the adults, like, and teens. I was like, if you don't read, like, you can just sit down and read this right now. And this was one of them. This is the graphic memoir. It's a preview of It Won't Always Be Like This. And it's not on sale until September, and I will have to read it the day it comes out. It is the story of a young girl whose her parents get divorced, and then her dad remarries a woman who's younger than him, and they go to Egypt, and they're living in a hotel, and so she's stuck with, the dad's working, and so she's stuck with the stepmom in a hotel room for the whole summer. And it's kind of the story of her getting to know her stepmom and becoming friends with her and treating her more like a sister than something. And so we only get that far, and the book's called It Won't Always Be Like This. So I'm already like, I got to the end and I was like, I'm going to cry when this book comes out. Like, it's got major Fun Home vibes, which I was like, great, you're going to destroy me. Yeah. Whatever this goes to, I'm going to die, like, of sadness, I'm sure. But because it's called It Won't Always Be Like This, so I know something terrible happens in this book, but I was like, but we're having such a cute little moment here. Why do you want to rip my heart out? And I'm so happy that the preview version doesn't actually have sadness in it, because it was a really great story. And I love graphic memoirs. I think it's a really great way to just kind of see inside a person's mind and heart for a minute. I don't know what publisher it is. I can see kind of peeking over there. I don't know who's actually going to be putting it out. I imagine it's going to end up in the back of the previews catalog as like one of those like quick lists.
10 Speed Press.
Yeah, see? It's going to be back there in the back, so.
They also have the comic stories of baseball, basketball, video games. So they're kind of like one of those publishers that do like a lot of like history books, visual history books, things like that. I am also a big fan of graphic memoirs, and I appreciate that Free Comic Book Day is putting out books like this.
Yes.
Because I feel like a lot of really wonderful graphic novels fall by the wayside. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're not looking through a previews catalog, you're missing some like really beautiful stories. So I'm glad that Free Comic Book Day takes the time to pick some of these. So you're like, hey, there's a lot of diverse stories being told in comics that don't involve guys in tights and capes and world-ending apocalypses every other event. So,
and I saw a lot of people like, who have been around Free Comic Book Day for a long time, not coming here, but like on the internet, who were like, oh, I wish there was more of the big two books and where did all that stuff go? And I was like, I don't. Like, the big two, you like those characters. Yeah. That's why we do this show. You like the big two characters. Here's a chance to learn about and love something else. And I'm so glad that there were so many books like that this year at Free Comic Book Day. And so many of the small presses have big books, which we're going to run through some of those in a minute. I'm handing you this exactly like this because I need you to show that page particularly, and I want you to be able to find it. This is Galaxy, what is the subtitle? I always get it wrong. The Prettiest Star. And this is actually coming out from DC, but it is one of their teen graphic novels. This is going to be from there. And they do mention, it's kind of like a Whistle that took place like in Gotham, but you didn't see any of the superheroes at all. They do mention like one of the characters saying she moved from Metropolis. All I did all day yesterday was say, you need Galaxy, and then open to this page.
That's what you did to me.
It's what I did to everybody. And it's one of the books that I have the least amount of copies of, that I ordered the most amount of copies of to begin with, just by opening that. And I'm very, very thankful because DC had this on the order already. And so we got the full preview of the whole book. DC is excellent at giving free, like, full, complete, even of the graphic novel, complete PDFs where we can read them as retailers. And so I actually got this, and I never want to spoil it. I don't ever read the PDFs because I feel like it spoils the experience of like holding it and like having that moment with the book. But I scroll through them every once in a while if I don't know how many to order. And when I scrolled through this and I saw that art, I was like, oh my God, I'm ordering all of them. So I knew at Free Comic Book Day like exactly which page to show to everybody. Great story. This is all about, it starts with a young boy sitting in his high school cafeteria with like his jock best friend, and he's like, hey, would you still be my friend if I wasn't me? And he was like, well, what do you mean by if I wasn't you? If you weren't you, dude, you're you, like that's who you are. And he's like, yeah, but what if I was like an alien? And he was like, if you were an alien, you'd still be you, like you'd just be that. And he's like, well, what if I was a girl? And he was like, what are you even talking about, dude? That doesn't make any sense. Like, no matter what, you're you, but like you're a dude and you're a human, so get over it. And then they go to talk to, like, the hottest girl in school kind of thing. And they're, like, the jock dude's, like, hitting on her. And she's like, hey, let's go to this party tonight. But come over to my house first because I don't want you to go to the party looking like that. And then we see them go to the party. And we get this reveal that this character that we were introduced to as, like, a teenage boy who felt really uncomfortable with his friends group is actually a female alien. And is this beautiful, wonderful, as you see on the cover, beautiful, wonderful, like pink-skinned alien, and it's just like, I've never gone out as myself, like I can't do this, like nobody will accept me, like my skin is pink, I'm a girl, nobody knows me like this, like what would I do? And it's this friend helping another friend, like coming like to terms with that so they can like go to this party and they can come to know themselves. But also we do have the, you know, the normal coming of age story, but also the big adventure of like, you might be the long lost member of this family story going on. That's very important. Like there might be like, you know, the royalty and the war, the space war and the galaxy problems. Like, so it's going to be like, there's a lot to it, but of course it is essentially at the core, like the story of this person coming to terms with who they are. And it's done through beautiful storytelling and fantastic art. And if you didn't pick this up, in the free comic book day version, please do, and know that the full graphic novel is coming out very soon, and it's wonderful. And then the other, like, we have two more, I guess, free comic book day picks, for the top is the Bone Orchard Mythos. This is the new Lemire Sorrentino, and I'm just going to stop talking because I'm bowed down to the one who loves this more than probably most people.
I mean, I am going to blindly, forever and ever, pick up anything with Lemire and Sorrentino because Lemire can tell a great story. Also, this is a horror book, and Gideon Falls is easily one of my all-time favorite comics. So it's them just kind of picking back up where they left off and doing like, hey, let's just do another really great horror book. And this prelude issue is so fantastic. So good. The story that they are setting up here is great. I'm very confused. It almost to me feels a little bit like how Jordan Peele tells his horror stories, where it's like, hey, there's something going on, but you don't know quite exactly what it is. And you're going to have to read this story to find out, or see this movie to find out what exactly I'm getting at here. But this is the story. So far, we know it is a guy who goes out to a secluded lake house because he has to finish a script. But he is also going through marital issues with his wife, so he's kind of getting some time away from her and the kids because they need a break. And so he takes his dog out to this secluded place, and like, you know, the dog starts barking a lot of the times, and he's like, what's the dog barking at? What's the dog barking at? Why is the dog barking? And it slowly kind of unveils that
there's some stuff.
There's some stuff, and the way this prelude issue ends is like, I cannot wait for this book to come out.
And the first book is going to be a hardcover graphic novel.
Oh, wait, hold on.
There's not going to be... It's just going to be a hardcover graphic novel. And so the Bone Orchard, the reason it's called Mythos is because this is going to be a whole bunch of things. This is basically like giving Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino an imprint. Don't die. Because they are going to be doing, over the next few years, I'm trying not to kill Phil with like a heart attack of excitement, there's going to be a hardcover graphic novel of this, and then there's going to be a mini series that's also like set in this world but not connected, and then there's going to be like another graphic novel, and then there's going to be a full series, and it's all not necessarily the same characters, it's just all in like this Bone Orchard like mythos world. And let me see, he tells you okay, starting with this June, this is a 96-page hardcover graphic novel titled The Passageway. Then in September 2022, we get a 5-part miniseries called 10,000 Black Feathers. And then another hardcover graphic novel next year called Tenement. This is the first 3 project in the Bone Orchard mythos, but that's just the start. It will be a vast mythology of horror stories that will last for years. All books are published by Image Comics, and they will all eventually be collected in a unified hardcover library, no matter how they originally print them. Which is going to just take all of Phil's money right now. I've been saving that whole paragraph just for this moment because I wanted Jaw to get to see Phil freak out. Phil never reads all of the letters at the back of the book, and I knew that. So I just told him, like, oh, there's going to be hardcovers. And he was all excited. And I was like, oh, he's never going to read the back of that book. And it's going to be so good for y'all to see his face on the live stream when he realized that his 2 favorite creators are making an entire universe just for him in hardcover format.
And they are collecting them into a nice
hardcover like collection that will all match just for you, Philip. Come get that book, seriously. Like that is great, and the passageway this summer is gonna be awesome.
Also, I do want to say real quick, Andrea Sorrentino, one of the best artists in the game right now, in my opinion. I don't want to start an argument here. He just ever so slightly teases how talented he is with page layouts in this book. Like, very subtle. You know, it's not like...
Primordial, which was all over the beautiful place with the paneling. Yes.
Yeah. He just kind of teases it just a little bit, but this book is going to get wild.
It's going to be crazy. Especially if it's a 96-page graphic novel. Good Lord.
I mean, that's going to be my pick of the week.
He's not even going to read it. He's just going to tell you it's his pick of the week.
Yeah. I'm going to show you like 3 pages of art, and that's all.
He's going to sit on the live stream that week just hugging it the whole time. You're never going to see inside any other book because Phil will just be sitting there holding that one. The other one this week that is a free comic book day pick of the week. Our pick, but also, let's be honest, this is Matt's pick too. We all have to be included. Like, it is Bunny Mask. What is the subtitle for this? The Tales. Bunny Mask Tales. Because it has 3 Bunny Mask stories in it. And this is from Aftershock. And we get kind of, the first story is the regular, like, Paul Tobin, Andrea Muti team. And kind of it just picks up where the last series ended, because we just had the first 4 issues of Bunny Mask for Volume 1. Kind of picks up where that left off. Kind of reminds us what the relationship is between the 2 characters, one being Bunny Mask. And then the second story is Bunny Mask interacting with a different person, and it's not the same. Is it Andrea Muti on art? No, right? It's not even Andrea Muti on art. I was gonna say it's a completely different like team of colorist and artist. And then we kind of see what it would be like if somebody was looking into their world and watching them, like literally like a stalker, like watching these people, and how Bunny Mask would interfere with that. And also Shining Rug. Everybody's showing the Shining Rug into their comics this week. Free Comic Book Day has multiple uses of the Shining Rug. And that story kind of goes into the middle and just kind of like bridges essentially the gap of a little bit of the human relationships of what's going on in the Bunny Mask world. And then at the end, we get a teaser for the Volume 2 of Bunny Mask, which starts this week.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So we are seeing Bunny Mask come back, and this week I'm super excited, insanely excited. I can't even, I'm like trying to figure out a bigger word for how much it's going to rock that Bunny Mask is back this week. If any book is going to get delayed, don't delay that one, because I don't want to have to explain to Matt on Tuesday if it's not here. So I'm like, let's just have Bunny Mask all the time. But this is fantastic. If you haven't read Bunny Mask before, this is kind of going to give you like a bridge between Volume 1 and Volume 2. And honestly and truthfully, I have to order more copies of Bunny Mask, because after Free Comic Book Day of Matt being at the counter, I don't have any more Bunny Mask at all in the building. I don't have any single issues. I don't have any trades. Matt and Charles sold us out of Bunny Mask all this weekend. So we'll be getting more Bunny Mask Volume 1, so you can catch up, but you can come get this Bunny Mask Free Comic Book Day issue, and let me tell you, one way or another, you're getting it, because Matt's going to put it in your bag when you shop at Bat City. So enjoy Bunny Mask.
Yeah, he will force you to take it home.
And you'll be thankful. Everybody, I had one of our customers that Matt had been like, hey, you have to read Bunny Mask, because Matt has been telling everybody that since Bunny Mask. We've gone through we've reordered all of the issues like 4 or 5 times, and the trades, and Matt had got one of our customers obsessed with it, and our customer was like, hey, I'm not going to make it on Free Comic Book Day because we have a family thing going on, but the only thing I need is, I was like, books for your kids, and he was like, no, a copy of Bunny Mask. And I was like, okay, got you, dude, I got you. So it's great, and it's worth it. I'm going to run through these much faster, kind of like we do our normal in stocks. These are still the Free Comic Book Day books that we still have left, so don't touch that dial just yet. DC League of Super Pets. This is, I don't know how much it connects to the movie, because it does have some of the characters that I haven't seen in the trailers, so we'll see, but it is all about the Super Pets. Super cute also. The Three Stooges. We got a cute little Three Stooges story. Phil's taking that one. Donald Duck. You always got to have your Disney comic. You get your Svetlana Enemies. This is your Frenemies book this year. We always get one of the enemies, frenemies kind of things. We've got Max Meow, Cat on the Street. I love this. This book is so great. If you have,
Yeah.
this is a Pokemon book. It says read right to left.
Oh, it's manga.
Yeah. But then the cover is actually backwards, so it's funny.
It's Viz. Yeah, so it's drawn very much like manga.
Mm-hmm. But you got multiple Pokemon stories in there if you're a big fan. Sonic the Hedgehog. I love the cover, honestly. That one was a really good one. We've got Avatar The Last Airbender, also featuring the Legend of Korra. I had people come this weekend who were like, I like Avatar, but I don't like Korra. And I was like, I don't know that I've heard anybody say that.
It's actually pretty common. A lot of people that I talked to, I was more of a fan of Korra over Avatar. But that seems to not be the case with everybody else. I
thought for a while that Korra was the more popular one, but I guess not. And really the people I talked to that said that were all like, well, I just like Toph. Yeah. And I was like, well, that's fair. The best Archie comic ever. You always need an Archie comic on your free comic book day experience. One of the best books. This is Fuzzy Baseball, and this is the greatest hits. This is reprints and like teaser portions of volumes 1, 2, and 3 of Fuzzy Baseball. And if you haven't read it yet, you should definitely come get it. It's perfect because it's baseball season.
There's copies.
We have all of the volumes of Fuzzy Baseball because we love it. It's the most adorable story. But we have these on our front table if you just want to check out the free comic book day version. Stranger Things. You always get your Stranger Things title. This is your Dark Horse book. So you get Stranger Things and Resident Alien. Titan gave us a new Doctor Who free comic book day title, which we have some announcements for that later.
Oh, we're going to? Okay.
Well, yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure.
I was going to let you talk about that. Don't worry.
I wasn't sure if we were
Street Fighter Masters. If you are a big fan of Street Fighter or Blanca, here it is. 25th anniversary of Buffy. This is your anniversary celebration. I guess it is the 25th anniversary, so it makes sense, but I was like, of all the books for Boom to put out, that wasn't the one I expected to be their Boom book for the year.
This is silent.
It's a silent-ish Blanca. Blanca doesn't talk, does he?
Blanca doesn't talk.
Right, it's cool.
Right, cool book. The art's cool on that Blanca book. I like it. We got Tex in the Land of Seminoles, and everybody that picked this up said this looks like the poster of Stephen Grant in Moon Knight.
Yeah.
I was like, it totally does. We've got Valiant 2022. This is like the Bloodshot. It is all of them. Archer and Armstrong. This is Ninja. I read the Archer and Armstrong story in this, but Archer and Armstrong Forever came out this week, and so I was really confused about whether or not I read issue 1 of Archer and Armstrong or if I just read the free comic book day teaser.
Yeah.
So they are not the same because I went back and read the Archer and Armstrong issue 1. 1010 Press presents 1010 Tells. This is number 2 because it comes out every year on Free Comic Book Day. Or come out the last 2 years, I guess, on Free Comic Book Day. Best of 2000 AD. If you are a Judge Judd fan, this is where you get it. I was really excited because I know that this publisher is British, and so they've been having a lot of trouble getting their books into America, so I'm glad they were able to get their Free Comic Book Day book. And, God, that's some art. That's crazy.
Yeah. 2000 AD has
always
been fantastic. I mean, there's a lot of very talented British artists out there.
Humanoids is building an in-Cal universe.
Really?
And Mark Russell is going to be doing one of the stories. Mark Waid is doing a story. Mark Russell. There was more people that were doing stories, and I already forgot. But Mark Russell has one of the stories in here, so you can kind of see what he's doing. Is that
Dan Waters?
Yeah.
Is part of it.
Yannick Paquette.
Mm-hmm. Pete Woods, Brandon Thomas. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So if you're a fan of the in-Cal universe, this is a good time. And the Mark Russell story in here kind of goes, this is what happened in the in-Cal, and this is how you, can go forward.
Okay.
This is Equilibrium, which is from Comic House, and it's a new superhero universe, essentially. I guess it's not a new superhero universe. It's a combination book a story for, Death Defying Devil and Silver Streak and Captain Canucks. So it's not a new superhero universe, but it is, a Justice League kind of book for them. And it is leading into, a series for that story.
I saw this, and I thought this was Marvel doing a Green Goblin story.
Right. No, it is all... that that universe.
Yeah.
Red Sonja, She Evil with the Sword. This is Dynamite reprinting a Marvel Red Sonja, I believe.
Yeah, that's the cover for the Marvel
That's
one.
the Marvel cover. So, but because Dynamite has the rights to Red Sonja now, so do what you want.
Whatever makes you feel good.
Jonna, this is Jonna and the Impossible Monsters, which you know that Phil is always a pick of the week for Phil and I whenever it comes out. So we're super excited to see that it got a free comic book day issue from Oni Press. So thank you. Primos got issue 1 printed as a free comic book day. So AWA getting some more free comic book day that aren't in the Resistance universe. And I believe they said this is the very first free comic book day issue to ever include both an English and a Spanish version in one book.
That's cool.
So congratulations on that. That was fantastic. It's a couple of manga books that came out. Blackguard and The Guardian of Fukushima. These are it's 2 of the new manga titles. I've had a couple of parents that were like, what age are these for? And I'm like, it's manga. You never know.
But more than likely... Teenagers.
Yeah.
You know. A lot of double entendres.
Yes.
A lot of sexual kind of stuff in those books.
Yeah. Marvel and DC had a couple titles. There was a reprint of Marvel Voices in it.
History.
Oh, that's awesome. That's super cool. Yeah, there's a history section at the back of this one. This one actually was really beautiful. I started to read it, and it's a really beautiful thing. But there is an entire section in the back that's all history of the tsunami that devastated in 2011, that devastated Japan, where the power plant was. Yeah, super cool. I love the name. Not
innuendos.
Yeah, that one is probably more about a history with that one.
Probably the other one I meant more so.
Marvel.
Hey, you never know. There could be some sexual stuff in there.
Marvel reprinted Marvel Voices. This features a story from each of the Marvel Voices that has come out, and then one new Marvel Voices story that is celebrating Moon Girl, because we are going to see some more Moon Girl soon. She's about to have a series come out that's Moon Girl and Marvel and Miles Morales, and that's a comic book series, and of course she's about to get a show too. I love that. Yes, they reprinted that for Reggie, and just show that if you haven't seen Reggie's Indigenous Voices stories and covers, yeah, you missed out on some phenomenal artwork, because that stuff's great. They also did the annual Spider-Man Venom book, which has your Zeb Wells Spider-Man and your Ram V and Al Ewing Venom. And then we've got the Avengers X-Men Eternals Judgment Day from Kieran Gillen. This is your lead into that major event that's coming up for Marvel. This is also the first appearance of Blade's daughter in this book.
So this is one of those...
everybody wants it. And I've got a ton of them, so come see me. Dark Crisis Special Edition. This is the lead into the whole death of the Justice League and all of that. What fallout of the death of the Justice League, I should say. Super excited to see Red 5 had a free comic book day this year. We've got a reprint of the issue 1 of Carriers, which you know I love. And then we have Bjorn the Littlest Viking, which is so stinking cute. And Dragon Whisperer, which is going to be a great story as well. This one's labeled for all ages. I think Carriers kids might not find it as interesting as I do. But the Bjorn and the Littlest Dragon stories were so good and so cute. Bjorn is like a little knight. He kind of reminds me of if you mixed Family Circus with the what was the Viking one? Oh my god, I can't remember. But whatever that was, the one Hagar the Terrible.
Yes.
Horrible. Yes, that makes more sense. If you mix those two together, like if the little kid from Family Circus was dressing up like Hagar and pretending to go on an adventure, that's literally just what Bjorn is.
The art in this other one.
The Dragon
Whisperer?
Dragon Whisperer, that's
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Look, pay attention to Red 5.
Seriously.
I'm very stoked that they got a free comic book day title.
Me too.
Because you need to be keeping up with Red 5. I mean, we're going to talk about how great they are all the time. So.
All the time. Barbaric. This is a reprint of issue 1 from volume 1, which is important to note because that is also coming back this summer. Volume 2 of Barbaric is on your way. And again, we want to cross over with West Side.
Please.
And then lastly, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which includes a first story from Sophie Campbell, who is doing a lot of the new stuff, and then a partial reprint of the Mirage Ninja Turtles at the back. Like a more cleaned up, kid-friendly version of the Mirage Ninja Turtles. But yeah.
That is super cool.
Yeah. I had a dad who was here with his daughters, and he was going through all the books, and he was like, each of them want the Ninja Turtles. And they were like, do we, Dad? And he was like, yes, because that's Sophie Campbell art, and one thing I'm going to teach you very early on is that you need to understand and respect Sophie Campbell's art. And I was like, what a great dad.
If there was one person who could take over the Turtles title without Eastman being around and totally deliver... Sophie Campbell is killing it. Mm-hmm. Like, let her handle the Turtles for as long as she wants to, because this current Turtles run has been fantastic. That's the one thing I want everyone to learn. I wish every parent was like that. It was like, yo, Sophie Campbell is the future of the Turtles.
Yeah, the kids were like maybe 6 and 9, and he was like, you will learn. Yeah. I was like, what a great dad. Buy them some Jenica, make sure they love her. Feels like, and that's
I forgot to grab that one.
All right, we're gonna switch to the regular in stocks. We have all of those free comic book day titles in stock, so if you missed out on any of those titles,
except for Bunny Mask, right?
No, we have tons of. No, okay. No, we don't have the.
Oh, you're out of everything else.
You can't buy Bunny Mask in my store right now, but you can have the free copy of the free comic book day store. But we'll get more Bunny Mask in. Don't
They're
you
next
worry.
to the register.
Yeah, and you're gonna get a copy of the free comic book day book of Bunny Mask again, whether you want it or not.
He could give it to you, and you're gonna walk out, and right before you're gonna drop that issue into the recycling bin.
No, don't recycle.
And then you're gonna walk out, and you're gonna open your bag, and there's another one in there.
No, what's gonna happen is you're gonna drop it in the recycle bin, and you're gonna close the door, and Matt's gonna be there in the Bunny Mask costume, going, "Is there comics?" And he's gonna hand you the comic. It's gonna be great.
You'd only get that.
You only get it if you're a Bunny Mask reader. So read Bunny Mask so you can get the joke. We've got some in stocks, like I said. We've got Sweet Paprika issue 9. This is still going on for a while, and Merca, keep it going because I love this crazy book.
I think that's what they're doing, a hardcover for this.
Yes, it's a fantastically fun romantic comedy, and not as racy as a lot of the Merca books get. So I really love it. Radiant Black issue 75. I don't know, 14. I was gonna be right the first time I should have discovered it. Cover. Cool homage cover. We've been doing the Earth Prime series. Issue 3 is the Legends of Tomorrow. This is all of the CW shows that were definitely not just canceled before their issue got to come out. Monkey Prince, issue 4. Genuine Lang, you can do whatever you want. And
whatever.
It's a great, fantastic book. Issue 2 of Duel. I don't know if we got issue 1, which is the only reason we didn't talk about this day. Archer and Armstrong are back in Archer and Armstrong Forever. You can see a teaser of it in that free comic book day issue, and then it is a different story. So when you jump into this, it's not the free comic book day issue. Don't be confused.
Everyone tells me that of all the Valiant titles to read, Archer and Armstrong is the one you have to read.
Honestly, after reading the free comic, I would say Faith, but after reading the free comic book day, lead in, because it kind of tells us where we're starting with Archer and Armstrong before we go into it, and after reading that, I was like, oh, Phil would love this. And he's writing a letter to Faith at the beginning of the book and stuff too, so the Valiant universe does all crossover and stuff, I think. But we do see a cool thing in here. So it's very funny. So I think you would like it. It's your favorite thing. It's the odd couple pairing kind of thing. You get the surly guy who he's supposed to be the superhero, but he's a drunk and a mess. And then you have the guy that's well, it's my job to keep him from getting into trouble. And he's the young guy versus the old guy. It's a Phil pairing. Made to happen. I think you can jump in on this one without having.
Well, I remember everyone tells me to read it because I think the original series was Barry Windsor Smith who did the art on that first run. So that was kind of the thing that everyone was like, "This is why you should check it out."
That's fair.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad issue 15 is back. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's not even the newest issue.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second.
We're sold out of the new issue. So we're going to continue probably to be sold out if you don't come. It's issue 128 because Venus de Milo's still in the story, yo. People are excited.
Did her first appearance?
That was in 127. Yeah. That's sold out from day one.
Okay.
We've got Spider-Man 2099 Exodus. This is Exodus Alpha.
Yeah.
This is the longest name. Spider-Man 2099 Exodus. This is the alpha issue for this Spider-Man 2099 event.
I want to know who asked for this.
10-year-old boys who are loving it, the crap out of it. I have, and you get Ghost Rider 2099 in it again, dude. People love 20. Also, he's in his Spider-Verse. That's like
I know. You
gotta know.
For so many years, people did not care about the 2099.
They love him now. They love him. And I love that. Marauders, issue 2. This is the new Steve Orlando team. Iron Man, issue 19. This is the final part of the ongoing thing that we've been seeing. And then we are moving into maybe a marriage between him and Hellcat. We'll see.
Ooh.
We'll see. Flashpoint Beyond, issue 1. This is the new Flashpoint story. We're beyonding. We are beyond Flashpoint, except for the fact that we don't actually let it go. But, Avengers Forever. They've been doing all these Spider-Man homage covers, and this is the cool. Ant-Man Spider-Man homage cover. And honestly and truthfully, just give me an Ant-Man that looks like this, because this is dope. Love this cover. Batman issue 121. That may or may not be the right issue for the new one. I think so. Nope, because it's still got the Batman advertisement on. We are sold out of Batman this week. I just grabbed copies off the wall really quickly. Jacinti, thank you. Jacinti wants that copy of Duel. Sweet. I will grab that for you. My dude. Okay. That's not spelled right, but it's fine. Batman Beyond Neo Year issue 2. This has been a very popular issue. Anything with Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond and Spider-Man 2099 are taking over, and I love this. Batman Killing Time. This is the Tom King Batman story going on now that Batman Catwoman is over. I already showed... Oh, I showed the other version, and I wanted to show this one, so I'm going to show it anyway, because this is the TV show version of the Earth Prime cover, and I just want anything with Katie.
This is that Legends of Tomorrow book.
And it's got Katie Lotz on it, and congratulations, Katie Lotz, who just got engaged yesterday. Hardware. This is season 1 of Hardware, and this has been a fantastic series too for all of our Milestone fans. This is the end of One Star Squadron from Mark Russell. This is issue 6 of 6. Matthew Rosenberg's Task Force Z is continuing on at issue 7. World of Krypton is also wrapping up with issue 6 of 6. Legends Black Panther issue 4 is out this week, and there was this really awesome, amazing Sway cover, but I'm sold out of it. Maestro World War M issue 3 is out this week. We got a new installment in the Dune series, The Waters of Canley. This is issue 1, if you need a place to start with that. Firepower is on issue 20. I am so amazed. I fell off. I need to catch up because I don't know how we got to 20 issues because it felt like we were going to have a 12-part series at most, and here we are, so I got to go back. Punisher issue 2 came out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that cover's dope.
I totally forgot that there was a new Punisher
It
series.
was in the wrong spot in my box, so I didn't pull it for you to read, so I found it.
That's fine. I'll be able to read.
Yeah, Once in Future, issue 25. Congratulations, Kieran Gillen, for hitting 25 issues on Once in Future. A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, issue 7. And we've seen these with the Ninja Turtles, and now we're going to see them with the Transformers. This is the best of Hot Rod. I love that that's where we started with, which I love, because last week I said Hot Rod was, like, my favorite Transformer, yeah. And BJ was like, it's Rodimus Prime, and it opens with whether you call him Hot Rod, or Roddy, or Rodimus Prime, like, here he is, and I was like, oh, I love that we have all the, like, names for him right there.
I love that IDW is doing this. Because it is a chance to kind of see some of the... Usually it's the old stuff. They'll put some of the old stuff and then some newer stories. I keep going with this.
And this is the lead-in to the fact that this week Last Spot Standing comes out. So when they did... when they started 7 years ago, when they began The Last Ronin, they... let's be honest.
I was like, was it 7 years?
No, it was not. But... 7 years ago, when they started Last Ronin, they started releasing these best of Ninja Turtles, and so now, as they're starting Last Spot Standing, they are going to be releasing these with the Transformers.
Is Last Spot Standing very similar?
It is a Last Ronin style Transformer story. And don't you worry, I have tons coming.
Excited?
I was like, no, let's be honest.
I don't even care about the Transformers.
But you have to when it does that. So, yeah, I know. I knew you would be. That's the books we have in stock. Obviously, there's probably more that I forgot, but there's probably not at the same time. So, who knows? We've got some trades coming up for you next. Matt just asked, did the screen go black for anybody other than him? Like mine didn't on my phone. So things in stock, we've got Doctor Strange, Master of the Mystic Arts. This is a reprint of the first bunch of Doctor Strange books. This is one of the Mighty Marvel Masterworks, which is the Marvel Masterworks, those big, fancy, expensive compendiums, but done in little tiny ones. So this is super cool. You get all the high gloss original art. Do not spoil Doctor Strange in the comments if you are here and you've already seen the movie. We want to make sure everybody gets to see the movie in the same beautiful, wonderful way of no spoilers.
Also, if you have never read Silver Age Doctor Strange, the art in these books,
yes,
like that's what sold me on Doctor Strange, was those early Strange Tales issues, like the Nightmare issue. Like the first time he goes in the Nightmare Realm, I'm like, oh my god, I want this, all of this.
Every time I watch the first Doctor Strange movie and I'm like, this is so weird, I'm like, oh right, Steve Ditko was on drugs.
You know what? The last time I watched Doctor Strange, I was on drugs.
You were also on drugs.
It took us 5 hours to sit through that.
Oh my god, I remember you telling me that story. So, yes.
5 hours.
You were freaking out. So, yeah.
I mean, the visuals in that movie are fantastic. I love when he goes to Dormammu's realm in that first movie, and you're just like, this. I want a whole movie in this realm.
Well, you know. Chad says he'll buy a classic Doctor Strange trade when the whole thing comes as a Blacklight special edition. Marvel,
whoa,
are you listening?
And do it like Silver Surfer Black.
Oh my god,
with the large.
And also make a Silver Surfer Blacklight edition.
Yes.
Let's just keep this Blacklight edition thing going for a minute here.
I'm surprised they haven't done that yet.
I know Radiant Black is the only one I know of that's ever done a Blacklight issue, which is weird to me. I mean, I loved it because it was just like, which is why Silver Surfer Black should get one, because it was like Radiant Blacklight, like was where they went with that. So I don't know. We got restocked recently on the Teen Titans Raven, Teen Titans Beast Boy, and Teen Titans Beast Boy Loves Raven from Cami Garcia and Gabriel Piccolo. I was like, am I going to say it wrong? No, it is Piccolo. These books are fantastic. This is some of our top seller in DC graphic novels, honestly and truthfully. If you haven't read them before, they're so good. I've read the Raven one before, but I never kept going. I got like backed up. And so I read the Beast Boy one like last week, the week before, and I was like, oh my god, it's so good. It's good, yeah. So I'm finally at Beast Boy Loves Raven, and I'm so excited to jump in.
I haven't read the Beast Boy Loves Raven yet, but I mean, Cami Garcia has been. I mean, they're so good. It's some of the best stuff at DC.
And Cami's so nice. I don't know if you've ever met. I've met Cami a couple times. She's wonderful. If you haven't met Cami, and Cami's whole thing is she just wants to get young people into reading. And I tweeted one day that like I can't keep these books in stock at the store, and so many people, young and old, come in and say like, oh, I want this, and then they tell me while they're checking out they've never read a comic book before, but they like heard about it, and or they saw Gabriel's art. And they were like, ooh, I want to check that out. And then they read it, and they get the next one and the next one, and, like, they fall in. And then they come back and they start buying, like, the other DC graphic novels, and then eventually, like, get into comic books, and, like, from, like, more and more from there. And I tweeted that to Cami, and Cami was like, this is literally why, like, the only thing I ever needed to hear. This is the best.
Look, I'm going to say, before I say what I'm going to say, I'm a DC fan. All right, I buy DC books, just like I buy Marvel books. But if you come in and that's the first DC stuff that you read, doesn't get much better than that.
No, the DC graphic novels for the YA DC graphic novels are the best thing that they are doing right now, hands down. Yeah. I'm going to say that, and I have no problem saying it because the Victor Nora graphic novel is one of the best books in the last couple of years. So good. Period. Yeah. So if you have not read that, please come buy it, or just let Matt act it out for you because it's really cute when he does. I'm like, I love when he does that. So, a lot of people picked up, which I forgot. I am missing a whole box of. There are more free comic book days that I still books that I still have that I didn't grab. Like,
wasn't that a free comic book?
Because the whole reason I brought this was we do still have the Nottingham Free Comic Book Day book in stock. But if you didn't get it, a lot of people asked me what Nottingham was, so I just wanted to let you know that we do have trades of Volume 1, and Volume 2 is currently in full swing right now. So we do have the Free Comic Book Day with the Andrea Muti art. That's fantastic. So if you need it, I'll find it for you. I don't know where that box ended up.
That's a cool cover.
We also got Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur Volume 4 back in stock. This is literally, I'm not going to say kind of, this is literally the only Lunella book that you can get right now. Nothing is available for order. Everything is out of stock. So, Marvel, if you're listening, can you please print more Moon Girl stuff? Because I have customers every day asking me for Moon Girl back issues and Moon Girl trades. So I'm going to need you to get those going because people are waiting and they're dying for their Moon Girl. So get us some Moon Girl pretty soon. Books, this came out last week, but I don't think we brought it. So, 2 weeks ago, this is Girls of Dimension 13. This is a Graham Nolan book from, Aftershock. This is the whole thing in one volume. It's issues 1 through 5. And this is kind of we were talking about magical girls earlier. This is a group of girls who are all brought together, and they are all witches of different kinds and with superpowers and things. And they have to protect us from a different dimension. It was a super fun story. They all get their trading card moments throughout the series, so I loved it.
I just want to show off the art because that was the big appeal for me for that book was the art.
Speaking of great art, Felipe Andrade, I finally got Ram V's Many Deaths of Layla Starr back in stock. That's on me. It wasn't out of stock. I just didn't realize we were out of them, so we do have them back in stock. If you've been waiting for it, this was Shannon and Phil's pick for the best book of 2021. It also was Entertainment Weekly's best book, apparently, and Variety's best book.
Yeah, this was a book that definitely broke the walls of comic book reading into the mainstream. And it is. And it's only $15, and you get all 5 issues, the complete series. And I mean, this is a book you have to read. I think eventually this will be an essentials.
Yeah.
When it's you're getting into comics and you Google search what should I read first?
Many Deaths.
That will be on that list.
Yes. Red 5 has 2 trades out this week. One is Merlin and Hector. And this was issues 1 through 3, I believe, was all that it was for the first arc of Merlin and Hector. This book is awesome. I love it. And it opens up a giant universe that we are definitely going to be diving into more. Please don't stop this book, Red 5. I loved it. It's a Stonebot book as well, I believe, from that imprint. Mm-hmm. And honestly and truthfully, it was one of those fantasy stories that I just needed. I'm a sucker for Merlin stories a lot of the time. And I love that this was young Merlin. We haven't even gotten to the fact that he's Merlin.
Right.
We're just kind of talking about a sheep herder who randomly has powers and doesn't even know it yet. So, love this book. Grab it. You should read it. It's a great way to get in. And you don't even know this is here yet.
I do.
You did? Okay.
I saw it in my box and I was like, what is this? Is this the next issue?
No.
Oh, no, it's not. It's the first trade of Mega. This is easily one of my favorite books on the shelf just because of the art. The art in this book, yes, it's a kaiju book, so I'm going to be more sold on it. But for $15, you can have this first trade.
Do you want to open it? Do you want to show them?
Oh, can I?
Please do.
I wasn't sure if I should or not.
Oh, you should always show people Mega because it's beautiful.
Yeah, this Salvador Sans is a name that I will forever write down and imprint in my brain. And anytime I see his name on a book, I'll pick it up because it's gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Lord.
Good storytelling, good art,
Lord.
Great book overall. Beyond the Breach from Aftershock got its trade this week. This is the complete thing of that. This was one of those, it was almost seemed like it was their answer to Something is Killing the Children, and then just kind of blurs more into the sci-fi world and was super popular. This is another book that I honestly and truthfully cannot give you the single issues anymore because I don't have them. I have sold out of every single issue of Beyond the Breach multiple times. I've reordered them and then sold out again. This is one of those books that people were like, I don't know what this is, but I want the next issue. And then they read the second issue and they're like, I don't know if I still know what it is, but I want to grab it. So this is a great way to jump in on this. I mean, we even had a customer on our Whatnot sale that was like, oh my God, do you have Beyond the Breach? And we were like, we have one last set. And they were like, I'll take the whole thing. So you definitely want to grab this trade and jump in. And lastly and finally on our trades, Witchblood finally came out in trade form. This is the complete series of Witchblood. This is Matthew Ehrman and Lisa Sturl working together on a great series that is kind of like a Scott Pilgrim in the witch world. We got an ancient witch who is being hunted by a witch hunter, but at the same time, vampires are hunting down witches because they want to steal all their magic, and they have to do that by drinking their blood and killing them completely. And this is it's so ridiculous, it's so fun, and the bright colors of the book are beautiful. And I love our main character because she is that reluctant hero that wants absolutely nothing to do with this, but has no way out after all this time. God, this is such fun. And Lisa Sturl is the artist of the Modern Witch Tarot deck. And so it's super cool to see this Modern Witch Tarot deck kind of turned into, like a comic book.
Yeah.
And like, it's great.
It's also cool. You're getting 10 issues, the entire series, $20.
Yeah.
What are you doing now picking this up? It's a vault title. This here, it says The Unholy Love Child of Sailor Moon and Near Dark.
That's accurate.
Why do you not want that?
Yeah.
Who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was... I feel like every issue you talked about, every issue on the live stream.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, most of the time we get to issue like 5 or 6, and then we start maybe thinking about moving into end stocks. And I was like, oh, Shannon, maybe we should put Witchblood in there. And she was like, no.
No. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk about all 10 issues. Yeah, this is a good book to check out. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a vault title.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. It's
wonderful. Cool. And Matt's got that book for you already. All right, so we've got some news. News. I'm gonna remind you once again, Friday, June 3rd is Marvel's Defender of the Diamond Knight. You can head out to the Round Rock Express and actually see what Marvel's cooking up for the MLB that night. There's going to be lots of cool free things they're giving away. There's going to be character appearances. There is a post-game fireworks show that's going to be all Marvel themed. I'm very excited. This is officially Marvel licensed all the way through the MLB, so there's going to be a lot of really cool, like real big production kind of stuff. And again, don't be surprised if Bad City is closed on that Friday, June 3rd, because I'm giving you a heads up right now that Bad City will probably be closed Friday, June 3rd to go to this game.
Also, from a baseball perspective, some of the players on the Round Rock Express are like the future of the Texas Rangers.
Absolutely.
Like top 100 prospects, a lot of good guys on that team. They're a lot of fun. You know, it's definitely a good time.
Absolutely. We love going to the games. We love supporting our team, and which is the segue into the Round Rock Express and their amazing mascot. Spike was out for free. We're out for Free Comic Book Day yesterday, as were so many of you. Such a fantastic time. We just talked about the comics that we still have left, which is all of them. Literally the only comic for Free Comic Book Day that we don't have, I believe, is the Overstreet Price Guide, because it's not a thing. But
they had one of those?
Yeah, they do every year. That's when it comes out. I don't order it because that's what eBay's for. And mycomicshop.com. Austin Company. The accuracy of comics and the prices change way too fast for print media.
Yeah,
sure. It's just true. Like you can't go off of those prices in the day after it's printed. It's already out of whatever I'm trying to say. Yeah, it's not accurate anymore.
Yeah, it's something that has to be updated pretty much daily.
Yeah,
I mean, if you go on Key Collector, that stuff changes like constantly.
Absolutely. So thank you again to all of our amazing creators who came out this week for Free Comic Book Day. It was fantastic. The Animal Baseball one was Fuzzy Baseball, Chad. Oh, it's all in the front. I think Matt wants to go get one. Fuzzy Baseball is the best.
Yeah, it's great. And I mean, I say that as a baseball fan, but also just like
3 half stories.
It's 3 half stories. It's volume 1, 2, and 3, essentially, of Fuzzy Baseball, which we have those in stock if you want the complete stories. But yeah, it's the cutest story ever. And
unless you're a Yankees fan.
Right, if you're a Yankees fan, you won't like volume 3 of this story, because it definitely goes hard against the Yankees.
Yeah, it's taking it, the Yankees.
I was sharing it with Spike and the Round Rock Express team yesterday, and I was like, I don't know if I'm allowed to make this joke, but y'all are Rangers people, so here we go. And they were like, oh, this is wonderful.
And it was cool, too, because Spike was actually signing copies of Fuzzy Baseball yesterday.
Was signing copies, which is super cute. Chad, yes, that's why you didn't get one in your stack. Sorry, Spike had those at their table until 1 o'clock, 1:30, whatever it was when Spike left. So I can put one in your box, because I know you scored one of each. So I'll pick one in your box. It won't be signed by Spike. I'm sorry. I didn't have Spike sign extras, which I should have. That was rude. That's on me. But so again, thank you to all the amazing creators that we had out. Let's see if I can do this without skipping anybody. Richard Alexander, Monica Gallagher, Drew Edwards, Dan Price, Joe Cashadorian, Paolo Redwood, Geek Sweets, our wonderful, amazing Josh. We love him so much. Chris Sheehan, Ronaldo Garza, Lamar Mathurin. We had the Otherworld's Austin team out. It was promoting their horror film festival coming up in 2 weeks. It was such an incredible day. Thank you to Rodney and Anthony, who were out as Miles and Killmonger. Orly, the Bat City mascot, was here for a while. And then thank you to all of our amazing volunteers, Brian and Ben and Juan, and I was going to say Josh, but he was selling cookies, but still volunteering. And obviously this guy right here, Phil, and the wonderful J2, and
Charles manning the
register all day
what a
long.
Boss.
Robert Cerna, who literally is leaving tomorrow morning to get married.
In Hawaii. Shout out to you,
Congratulations,
Robert.
Robert, who was literally supposed to be packing for his wedding spent from 10 o'clock in the morning to like 5 o'clock in the evening helping with Free Comic Book Day, even though he was supposed to be getting ready for his wedding. Yeah. So, did I forget anybody? T.I. Oh my God, T.I. Yes, who ran one of the 10 ring toss.
Games, yeah.
Yes, and T.I. showed up super early and was ready to go, like immediately, just like got to work. And I love all of our volunteers because they're so good at that. Well, I got a text message from Juan that was like, open the door. And I was like, open the door. We're all in the backyard setting up. And I go and I open the door and he's like, now you open the door. It's like, well, I don't have my phone on me. And he goes, I have tacos on me. And I was like, whoa, you are right. You have priority, my dude. I'm so sorry. So thank you to everybody who helped out. And of course, incredibly thanks to all of the people that came. It's so nice to get to have everybody, both the regulars and the new people and all the wonderful, so many people saw the Free Comic Book Day bags over at Central Machine Works. We had a couple people who came in and said they saw the bags and were like, what's that? And the people told them, and then they left Central Machine Works to come get free comic books because they thought it was so cool that there was like a whole thing. And then shout out to Doug Millard and his amazing friends who did not embarrass him in front of Spider-Man this time. So we love that. Make sure you check out their Excelsior show. If you don't follow Doug on Instagram, follow Doug on Instagram. I know he has a bunch of cool podcasts going on. There is some Doctor Who news. Do you want to tell them what that is before I keep going?
So, I cannot pronounce this guy's name. I'm going to pull it up. You want to take a shot at that? Nakati Gatwa. Gatwa.
Mm-hmm.
So they have decided they've picked their new Doctor, the 14th Doctor.
Yes.
And it is it's Nakati Gatwa, and he is a phenomenal actor. If you've never seen Sex Education, it's on Netflix. There's 3 seasons now, I believe.
Oh wow.
But he is the queer best friend of the main character, and I'm excited. Juan and I, another one of the subscribers and volunteers here, he had posted it on Facebook earlier today, and he and I geeked out about it because this is a very talented actor with a ton of range, and I'm excited to see what he brings to the role. So I'm new to the Doctor Who world. Do Doctor Who fans have a name?
Whovians.
That was like my first guess was like Whovians maybe. So I am new to the universe of Doctor Who, but this like further excites me. I know there was a lot of talk about who it was going to be next. This is a great pick, hands down. I'm very excited. Definitely go and watch Sex Education,
which I haven't seen.
It's so funny.
I've heard great things all day about. I was just excited about the fact that we had this incredible actor from what everybody is saying playing the Doctor, and the fact that we also get to finally see a Doctor of color.
This is the first one.
We've had we had our first female Doctor, and now we're going from there to a Doctor of color, which I think is fantastic.
That's awesome.
I'm so excited about that, and this is fantastic. Oh yes, and yesterday we raffled off the JLA versus Avengers, the Hero Initiative trade paperback that collected JLA versus the Avengers, And that was, the winner was Josh Strasberg. So we will actually be contacting you, Josh, if you're not watching. You already have? Oh, Matt's already called you. So, yes, good job. Congratulations. And the money from that raffle, we will be collecting all of the totals for that, and we will be donating that money back to Hero Initiative, which was George Perez's request. A lot of people were like, what? Why are you, like, raffling it off? And that was actually a big thing George asked for, is if you can raise the most amount of money you can raise and give it to Hero Initiative, that's what I would want. Mm-hmm. He said, my family has the money to take care of all of my medical bills, but so many comic creators don't. Right. And so we want to make sure that the future comic creators are all taken care of. That said, the sad news that we have, we lost Neil Adams last week, and this week we lost George Perez.
What a rough 1-2 punch. I mean, we knew the George Perez thing was coming, but I saw the Neil Adams news, and I was like, you can't do this right before George Perez.
Right.
Like, that was rough. It was hard to hear on New Comic Book Day. That was a tough one to handle for me yesterday.
Yeah, I was in the middle of doing the live video telling people to come out to Free Comic Book Day, and one of our volunteers came up and like showed me like, hey, this happened, and I was like, I'm now crying in the middle of this live video, and I don't know how to stop, and I was like, I promise if you come to Free Comic Book Day, we won't be crying, but like, also, I can't make that guarantee at the same time, because this is really tragic, and one of the things that has made it almost like a cathartic experience is seeing not only fans share their stories, but also all of the creators. Mm-hmm. Seeing, Mark Russell and Gail Simone and all these people. I was telling Matt and one of our customers earlier, Donnie Cates did a big post about it, about how when he was a child, he went to a convention and there was a George Perez event. And so he took all of these tracings that he had done and drawings of George Perez's, like imitating George Perez's art and tracing over George Perez's art. And he was so excited to meet George Perez. And then when he got in line for the event, it was a ticketed event. And so him and a bunch of people couldn't get in. And George found out that all of these people couldn't get into the event. So George didn't start the event until he had gone out and signed everybody that was waiting to get into the event stuff and talked to each of them. And George actually looked at all of Donnie's like tracings of his art and was like, hey, you're doing a really good job. Your art's really good. Like, keep it up. Like, make comics someday.
Yeah.
And like that's what made a big impact on a major creator. Like, and it's so beautiful to see these stories and hear of all these people whose lives were impacted large and small ways by George Perez. And it's sad that it happened, and it did, but it was almost fitting that it did happen the night before Free Comic Book Day, because we all ended up celebrating the life of George Perez on one of his favorite days of the year. Yeah. And he was, not only was George Perez an incredible creator, but he was just an incredible person who, championed for cosplayers when so many creators were at a time when so many creators were like, oh, I wish they would ban cosplayers at conventions because they just block our tables and nobody's buying comics because they're staring at cosplayers. And George was like, I'm going to have a cosplay party at every convention I go to, and I'm going to bring all the cosplayers to me. If you don't want the cosplayers come to me. I love cosplayers. And he's out there taking pictures with every single cosplayer. And it was such a huge thing for us as cosplayers to have somebody of that caliber on our side. And just to see all these moments that were impacted, like, for creators and for everybody and just fans, just knowing that there was somebody. George Perez I never saw George Perez at his table. I always just saw him randomly walking around. And there wasn't a con too small for him. There are some of the tiniest cons that I've ever been to in, like, San Antonio and here that George Perez was there. He was a guest at them, and it's like, this con was $6 to get into, and George Perez is a guest just wandering around, like, hanging out with people. And I think it speaks wonders to how much he loved comic books and how much he loved the fandom, that he was nothing was ever too small or too insignificant to George, as long as there was somebody who loved comics, like, George Perez would always be there. And I feel like as long as you continue to love comics and celebrate what they mean and what they do, like, George Perez will always remain in the comic book world and in our lives. But Yeah, it was very sad, and I felt bad because I made another announcement and had a moment of silence, and then introduced the stand-up comedians. I was like, we're gonna have a moment of silence. So I was like, now that you're all properly depressed, here's some stand-up comedy. Like, sorry for warming up the audience in that way.
Yeah, it's kind of tough, but you have to find time to do that,
right? And
to honor him. I mean, yeah, that was a tough one for me, and even with us knowing it was coming, it still was so hard to handle.
Yeah.
I was expecting to be crying yesterday at Free Comic Book Day, but it actually hit me when I was at work last night. So I'm like, there was a customer and I was taking his order and I just like tears start running down my face. He's like, "Oh my God, did I say something?" And I was like, "No, I just need to do this.
I just needed a moment.
Tell me your order and I'll move." But yeah, you just gotta go.
You just start randomly naming characters George Perez helped create. You're like, oh my God. And it's like, there are a lot of tributes and things that lots of people did. We shared Jim Lee's tribute on our Facebook page.
Great tribute, by the way.
Oh my God,
Such
that alone was something that made me cry. Jim Lee told a beautiful story. If you haven't read it, it's on our Facebook page. You can skip over to that after this and see if you're watching this on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, it's facebook.com/comicsaustin. You can go read that if you haven't seen it, or just go to Jim Lee's page and find it there.
Yeah.
But since we do have our wine glasses, this one,
yes. Cheers
to George and all of the great things he created. Thank you for the impact you had on our community.
Most definitely.
Yeah, and to continue the celebration of comic books, we have all the comics that are out for you this week. Crossover, the next issue of Crossover is out, I believe it's 13. 8 Billion Genies #1 is out. I have had so many people in the last week email me and ask me if they can get 8 Billion Genies, so it's Image, and everybody's excited about it, so we'll see. One of the things I'm very excited about is there are a whole bunch of new Image First coming out.
Sweet.
Middle West is getting an Image First. Homesick Pilots is getting.
Nice.
Firepower is getting one. Department of Truth is getting one. Noctera is getting one. Scumbag is getting one. And issue 1 of Radiant Black is getting an Image First this week.
Wow.
So all of you who've been like, oh, I kind of want to check out this Radiant Red and Rogue Sun, but I don't know the Radiant Black universe, you can get that first issue of Radiant Black for $1.
That's quick. That's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, I mean, Homesick Pilots too, and Noctera. That's true, yeah. That's crazy, but I'm so glad to see that's happening. There's also going to be a Little Bird, I Hate Fairyland, Hack Slash. Are also going to get them, and then 3 or 4 more major ones getting, a lot of them are coming back to print. So this is a big week for Image First. They've changed it to where you have to buy them in bundles now, 20. So I hope that stores still buy them. We will obviously buy them. And now if we just want to make our $1 book club just Image First, guess what? We got a lot of Image First coming, so we can always just do Image. Harmon is getting its hardcover this week. So there goes Phil's money. Noctera issue 10, Ginny Zero Volume 2 starts this week. Yes, issue 1 of Ginny Zero Volume 2. Last Spot Standing. Captain America Symbol of Truth starts this week. Hulk vs. Thor Banner War starts this week. The $9.99 Marvel vs. Jane Foster book is getting released this week. So if you want to know about Jane Foster Thor, you can get that. If you watch that trailer and you post anything about it in the comments, I'm not going to save you one. Just so we know.
We're going to burn your copy.
I'm never burning a book ever.
Your face.
I will never burn a book ever. But maybe not ever. But let's be real here. Moon Knight.
Cyberpunk.
Right. Moon Knight, Black, White, and Blood issue 1 comes out. What If Miles Morales #3 comes out? Sorry about that. Jurassic League starts this week.
Yes.
I know so many of you are excited for that. Justice League versus Legion of Superheroes #3 comes out. Grimm #1 comes out. Very excited about that.
Nice.
7 Secret 17. I don't care if none of you are excited. I'm excited. That's my favorite Tom Taylor. But Bunny Mask, Hollow Mask that's what it is.
Hollow Inside.
Hollow Inside. I wrote down Bunny Mask twice, so I was like, what is the thing? Bunny Mask, Hollow Inside #1 is out. Carriers #5 is out. Dark Beach #2 comes out this week.
Sweet.
Devil's Highway Volume 2 #1 starts this week. Frank Frazetta's Death Dealer comes back this week on Opus Comics, brand new publishing company run by Denton Tipton, who's come
Big
from
week for me.
Heavy Metal. Yeah, it's going to be a big week for you. Guilt in issue 2, the GILT Guilt that we read, that with the time traveling old lady.
Yeah.
That comes out from Ahoy Comics. Heavy Metal Drummer issue 4 comes out this week.
What a week.
Human Remains number 8 is out this week. The Joneses from AWA Upshot number 2 is out. Nottingham number 7, for those of you who were curious. Red Room Trigger Warnings number 3 is out. Stargirl number 2 is out.
This is such a good week.
God.
Oh my god.
West of Sundown issue 2 comes out. This is going to be a huge week, so be prepared next week for everything to be a pick of the week because Phil's not going to be able to make it.
There's already like 4 or 5 of them I'm already looking at.
Yeah, so it's a huge week. That's not even everything that's coming out. That's just all the ones I could fit on this piece of paper without having to turn the page over. So it's going to be a great week for comic books. I cannot wait for Wednesday. We will see you here for those new comics. If we don't see you then, we will see you on next Sunday on this show, live at 9 p.m. on Facebook.com/ComicsAustin. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be up when it's up. Make sure you like and subscribe so you get the notification for when it comes up. We will see you then when we wind down our weekend. Next weekend, I'm Small Press Shann. This Wednesday, Phil. We'll see you then.
Bye. Under 3 hours.